issues, call today for a consultation. 999-9000.
This is Indy Sports Center.
WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis.
The Pacers host the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow evening at 6:30 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
What in the hell do you think you're doing?
Hey, John Boy.
I'm telling you straight, it's my way or the highway. So anybody wants to walk, do it now.
Hey, everybody, we're all going to get laid.
Kick is up, and it is long enough, and it is good. Adam Vinatieri, at age 45, drills one from 57 yards out.
Was kept alive by Oladipo, and Sabonis with a left hand.
John, I have never been better to be on the air with you here in Indianapolis, a place where so many of my dreams have come true.
The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Let's kickstart this bad boy. Who's with me today? Colts re-signed Pierre Desir. 3 years, $25 million was that. Reported a little bit earlier today. Looks like Tyrell Williams is going from the Chargers to the Raiders. That was a guy that we thought just maybe was going to be a target. Maybe he was. I mean, nobody really knows if he was or if he wasn't. It ended up being, obviously, here, Devin Funchess, who's going to join us on tomorrow's show. Tony is not going to be on tomorrow's show. We'll get to that in a second. Matt Painter, Purdue head coach, is going to be on tomorrow's show. So we'll do that. And tomorrow's show is live with Bud Light and with Evan Williams at Coach's Tavern downtown. Perfect. We're going to start some Pop-A-Shot shooting contest, and somebody's going to win a trip to Las Vegas, which just so happens to be the place where Tony is going right now. And this is a getaway day for Tony Donahue, and we are loaded with content. John Clayton, a little bit later on, will discuss what's going on around the NFL. Of course, the big news last night was that of Odell Beckham Jr. getting traded from the Giants to Cleveland. A lot of people asked me last night, so what do you think? What do you think? Was there a chance you think the Colts dabbled? And I don't. Just kind of seemed like that Cleveland held the edge, held the hammer, wanted to get it done, and the Giants wanted to part ways with a guy that had evidently given them a lot of headaches, but is incredibly talented. And now he is reunited as a part of John Dorsey's crew in Cleveland with his former LSU teammate, Javaris Landry. They do look loaded. I mean, they do look loaded. And you got, all of a sudden, the Vegas odds are up as far as the Browns going to the Super Bowl. But, man, they haven't made the damn playoffs in, 17 years? Something like that. So I would, and even with the AFC North and what's transpired there with the whole breaking down of the Steelers, with the Bengals transition, now the Ravens transitioning now for real for an entire season, the quarterback, it does look winnable for them on paper, right? On paper. But those are some of the news and the notes and the things of interest that we'll talk about over the course of the afternoon. I guess you got a lot of the Colts not get a sniff. I don't think. I think the Colts are doing exactly what the Colts wanted to do. I think they're doing exactly what they want to do. And I think when in the upcoming days some of these prices go down and guys are still kind of flapping in the breeze out there, you'll probably see a little bit more action, right? I mean, it looks exactly like the blueprint that we saw a year ago. Now, I said yesterday, and I'm not going to go over the top with it because just because their viewpoint of one position doesn't necessarily jive with my viewpoint, that's understandable, right? They're in it every day. They know it much better than I do, but I just happen to differ there. But the one thing that is true is what they did a year ago worked. What they did a year ago works, and they have a great deal of confidence in what they are doing across the board, so that is tough to argue with. If you're just looking at this thing on paper, like maybe it's a Stratomatic game where you're rolling the dice or something, I mean, yeah, I can understand. I mean, Colts fans are saying you got everybody doing this and doing that and making moves. I was trying to think about a little bit earlier today exactly what has transpired so far within the AFC South. Prior to the start of free agency, and I remember this is early last week, I suggested that, if a lot of guys land where we think, might this be 2019, the best season we have seen since, 07 of the division itself? Now, really only one thing, and again, that was soaked with hypotheticals. I think the hypothetical had Le'Veon Bell going to Houston. Le'Veon Bell ends up with the Jets. I think I put Antonio Brown with the Titans, and that sure as hell didn't happen. He's with the Raiders. Titans get Roger Saffold. Titans are looking like they're going to get better. I think the Titans are going to be better. But the one thing that did hold true is Jacksonville went out and finally got a quarterback in Nick Foles. But when you look at it, it doesn't look like that there's a great deal that is going on within the AFC South. I don't know if that means that others are trying to take this tact or not. But there's certainly a group out there that's just saying, you know what, let's go for it. And Cleveland is going for it, and Cleveland fans have had such a long, miserable time of not being able to be happy about anything with their football team. Hell, everybody's jumping into the deep end on this thing right now. What's funny about it is it'd be so Cleveland, right? Cleveland football, if you jump into the deep end of this, get all excited about it, and it falls apart like a house of cards. That would be about as Cleveland Browns as it could get. You finally have a general manager, and you're moving, and you're shaking. You're bringing in talent, and they still have Kareem Hunt whenever he gets the nod from whatever suspension he ends up getting to return to play. But wouldn't it be so Cleveland Browns if all this offseason talk and this level of excitement just turned into a cloud of FUBAR? I think we all know that is incredibly possible. No doubt about that. All right, so if you want to talk about that, the move by the Colts with Pierre Desir, bringing him back, Chris Milton got brought back, and then obviously we talked at great length regarding Devin Funchess on yesterday's show, and we can do that with you right now at 239-1070. Email address JMV at 1070thefan.com. Butler Bulldogs, Big East Tournament, round number 1, later on tonight, 7 o'clock versus Providence. Nick Gardner, the Butler Bulldog Radio Network, is set to join us coming up at 4, and we shall talk about that. They took a beating at the hands of Providence at the end of the regular season. They took a beating, and really the final score wasn't much of an indicator of just how much of a beating they took. It was pretty ugly. We'll see if the Dogs have anything left in the tank to make a little bit of a run at this thing in the Big East. Stephen Holder, I think, is a bit under the weather, but he's going to man up and join us in the 5 o'clock hour anyway. We'll talk about what I just brought up, probably a little bit more at length. Maybe some of the hard targets that still might be out there. It's kind of like you're sitting around, and I know that you no longer can go because they're no longer available to you, but it's like sitting around and waiting for that blue light to flash in Kmart, right? Just kind of waiting for that blue light special. All right, the market value has either dip to a point that you like or dip to a point where you had it pegged with that particular player that you might have sought out in free agency in the first place. Yeah, I don't know how many people. Your parents hang around and wait for the blue light special to start at Kmart back in the day? I always had that blue, you got to go. There's that blue light special, and, hey, tracks are on sale. Let's get there. I posted this last week. It was an old late 70s Tracks commercial from Kmart. If anybody that doesn't know, that was footwear, athletic footwear that I think at some point in time, most of us of Generation X or older or maybe a little bit younger were probably forced to wear. Maybe we thought it was cool to wear. You were either forced to wear that or you're forced to wear the Winners 2 or the Winners collection from Sears. It just was kind of the rite of passage. Yeah, the first pair I jumped into, I think, hell, it was probably Red Ball Jets. I don't even think it wasn't Converse. Converse was incredibly popular in the day. Back when I was growing up, Dr. J wore Converse. That's all we needed to know. But then you had IU. IU wore Adidas top 10s, and that was the you-know-what. Yeah. Blue light special that came on. That's just kind of what you're waiting on here. Kind of what you're waiting on. So we can talk about that if you like. The rest of the NFL, we can go around the league with some of the deals that are going on. A couple of other things. Looks like the Ravens, as I mentioned, within the AFC North are getting busy. Earl Thomas looks like he's going to end up there, the former Seahawks safety. It looks like Mark Ingram, the running back, formerly of the Saints. They signed Latavius Murray yesterday, which obviously was an indicator that they were done with Mark Ingram at running back. Looks like Mark Ingram's going to end up with the Ravens. And here we sit with the Colts. The Colts go out and get one, and the Colts re-sign their own. I don't know if it's fair to say, because all it kind of does is stir it a little bit. And sometimes I think it's BS to stir it. But I also think that it's justified to think about 48 hours into the conversation if Colts fans out there are okay with the direction again, the path in which the Colts are taking as they did last year. I guess more so than anything else, I kind of want to find out with this Connecticut Water question of the day if you have bought in with what they're doing, or if you're apprehensive, even if they did well with it a year ago, about not trying to raise the bar. I don't know. It's funny. I don't know if it's so much about, hey, you got a lot of money, let's spend it, as much as it is with some out there. You see significant holes, and you wonder about the upgrades. Again, we don't see what they see, but you wonder about the upgrades are going to fill those gaps. And again, I've said all along, my philosophy and my thought at wide receivers is not, and it wasn't a year ago, and it's not what theirs might be. That doesn't mean jack squat. It really doesn't. Like I think it was Diggler that sent me a tweet this morning and said, it was retweeting something Albert Breer had suggested, that, hey, look at all these Super Bowl winning number one wide receivers over the past 10 years. And I understand that. Anytime anybody brings up New England, I say, yeah, you got to leave New England out here. New England's different. And I know you guys all, oh, no, they're not. Yeah, they are. They're different. They are different. I mean, hell, it's just a battle to get anywhere in the damn area code of where New England is and what they do, and how no matter what, they just continue to grind out players that have a positive influence and produce for their team no matter what. I mean, hell, all their dudes almost, they're like, I've put it to this before. If you remember that Eminem video where they have all of a bunch of M&Ms in their white boxers going through a factory line.
Well, the real Slim Shady, please
stand
stand
up. Is that what that is?
Yeah.
That's what New England reminds me of. I mean, whatever they need, just you got an assembly line of dudes that are ready to slide in, and once one guy gets a little too price hiked, then that guy's out, or a little bit too down the road, that guy's out, the other guy's in. A little assembly line, a factory assembly line of guys. So I always put them as being different. But, yeah, viewpoints are going to be different. Mine with wide receiver is. That doesn't mean that Devin Funchess is not going to work out here. I mean, the one thing, more so than anything else, that I talked about yesterday was having a big-bodied wide receiver. And he had a really nice 2017. He just basically fell off last year. And making excuses or not for it, it may not be completely on him. I mean, maybe it's on Cam Newton. Maybe it was on the offense with the Panthers. Maybe there was more of a focus on McCaffrey. I mean, who knows? A myriad of things that, again, an offense with Frank Reich and Nick Sirianni, a system that they have that they believe in, that they can take Funchess to a different level. But back to my main point, I'm just going to be kind of curious to see where Colts fans sit 48 hours clear now, with all the top line guys now being removed from the free agency list. and the Colts getting Funchess and re-signing a couple of their own, what you might think so far, and I'll say this, it'll be the same thing as last year, because I remember last year, and I'm getting a lot of the same feedback. The only thing that was different is last year you're thinking, all right, rebuild process or whatever, whatever you're talking about, whatever the description du jour might be, whereas now, because you win a game in the postseason, because you finished the way that you did, even with that loss at Arrowhead, there are considerably more, certainly higher expectations to be met to continue to be believers. Connecticut Water question of the day. What do you think about the Colts free agency so far? Anybody? We'll do that at 239-1070. Email address JMV at 1070thefan.com. And as always, on Twitter at JMV1070, where I'll drop in that Connecticut Water question of the day coming in a couple of minutes. Nate McMillan met with the media a little bit earlier today, I guess, and said that Tyreek Evans is still out with personal reasons, and now there's a lot of stuff floating around. And, yeah, it looks like it's coming to the end of the line here a little bit, something we shall discuss. The Pacers sidestep, they looked pretty sketchy at best last night. I mean, just against an absolute crappy team. Now, they're good enough to win. They're at home. It's the Knicks. But I thought they had far more issues than I thought they had answers last night. They closed, and I wanted to say they closed strong, but they really didn't close strong. I mean, it was like you're holding on there. Thank God, late just trying to find anybody that was going to hit anything. Yeah, free throws, and especially from Miles, continued to be an issue last night. I mean, we're talking about having to play at a much higher level. I don't know. People are asking me, does it go into it the fact that the Knicks are so bad and you're at home? Maybe. I mean, I know it's easy for us to say, well, these guys are professionals and you have to approach it in a professional manner. I don't know. I'll give you a great example. I watched another game last night where a team absolutely knew that the last time they played, they beat the other team by 48 and failed to show up. And with that failure to show up, did significant damage to some chances on the bubble of the NCAA tournament. And because I'm forced to watch at length Gonzaga games, that Gonzaga team last night with little to no effort and a bunch of BS was just that, a bunch of BS. That was a team that has run roughshod over teams in a crappy conference and had beaten the team they were playing in the championship game by 48 points prior to, that was not ready for prime time. They thought that they could just skate by. And you could tell. They weren't ready for any measure of resistance. Not one. Zero. And you give Randy Bennett, you give St. Mary's credit last night. And I know IU fans are bummed. Belmont, we had Dylan Windler on the show yesterday. That chance certainly took a hit at any at-large possibility because St. Mary's kind of bopped their way in. But Gonzaga failed to show up. And I guess on the bright side of it, you can say, well, at least they did it then and not in the tournament. But, man, whenever Gonzaga sucks, they suck, and their guards were terrible. Really, everybody was terrible, but their guards were just incredibly awful last night. That was a team that thought they could just show up and win. There was nothing more. And you could say, well, how do you know that? You could, if you watched it, you could see it. I mean, there was nothing great other than slowing the tempo that St. Mary's might have been doing. It was just a team that they played that team thought that, whatever happens, we're going to show up here and we're going to win this game. I mean, you could see it at different points in the second half. You thought you had it at the 5-minute mark, felt good in the 4 and the 3, and then all of a sudden the next started getting a little tight on the collar. Sometimes you can see it. I don't know if we saw that last night here against the Knicks. We saw a bunch of missed shots. I don't know if we saw that with the Pacers against the Knicks, but what we did see, we saw a game last night against really one of the worst teams, if not the worst, in the NBA. You saw a performance out of the Pacers that you can't have a great deal of coming up here. And that's beginning tomorrow night against Oklahoma City. Can't see a lot of that. I mean, you can't see an extended period of time where you can't hit the damn broadside of a barn. I mean, really, all you had to do down the stretch, think about it. How long did they go without scoring? All you had to do was, like, hit one shot. I mean, Miles had a couple of picks and pops, and they weren't anywhere near. And Collison had a couple of looks, and then Collison finally hit one. And actually, the shot that Collison hit, that I think finally was the dagger, was a step back. That was probably the toughest, the most difficult of the shots that they were trying to make to salt that thing away last night. Gets the shot clock, a little drive, and a step back. But a much better overall effort. Have we seen the last of Tyreek Evans, Tony?
My bet would be on yes. But you never know.
You never know. You never know.
Things can change. They sit them down and say, hey, we're going to go in opposite directions at the end of the season. Why don't you play this out, play your heart out, and show what you can do for other teams and help us out in the process?
I think he's kind of shown us, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know what looking like this and how that's going to benefit you at all. This is, at all. The one thing is consistent, Tony, with the conversation surrounding the Pacers is team concept. It is unity. It is cohesion. And I hate to use it because everybody absolutely overuses it. It's culture. The locker room cohesion. That is the one thing. And if you can't fit in there, where are you fitting in? If you can't fit in with a group of guys that are so welcoming, where are you going to fit in? I mean, is there something else? And listen, I was careful with it yesterday because when you see the term personal reasons, you never know what you're dealing with here. But the more and more you think about it, the more and more that's being talked about, it seems like it's a more of a him problem than anything else. And that would make a lot of sense to folks. But, you're trying to make an extra dollar and continue that career, and you want to fit in. This is a team that lost its best player and has rallied around, again, the team concept, and allegedly you're the only guy that can't match it in time, that team concept. That'd be tough. It'd be tough to find a seat someplace after this. China. Hey, China's calling? You get paid there, I guess. But, yeah, that has been a swing and a miss, to say the least. We can do that as well. Again, Pierre Desir is coming back. We'll get to that. Stephen Holder, 5 o'clock today. John Clayton, the professor, will go around the NFL, what he thinks about with the major transition being made with the Cleveland Browns. What do you think? Sitting here a year from now, will John Dorsey be an absolute steely-eyed missile man genius, or over his skis and getting guys and free agency just doesn't pay? Where are we going to be sitting a year from now as far as the Browns are concerned? And then what do you think about the Colts to this point? That is the Connecticut Water question of the day at JMV 1070. Nick Gardner, Stephen Holder, John Clayton tomorrow. Coach's Tavern, Bud Light, Evan Williams tomorrow. It's a Pop-A-Shot contest. Tomorrow's show, Devin Funches and Matt Painter join us on a busy Thursday. We're busy with you at 239-1070 on the other side next.
For LaPorte, Indiana's Kim Minnick, dairy farming is a multi-generational experience.
Having kids here on the dairy farm, I didn't grow up on a farm, so this is all new to me. But it has been absolutely wonderful. The kids love it. It's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun, too.
A lifelong commitment to their cows and their community.
Dairy farming is 24/7. There is no off-season and off-time. So we put the cows before we eat, they eat. Their hard work comes before everything.
So for the Minnick family, why is dairy life so important?
A lot of things that just can't be learned in a book, things that they don't necessarily learn in school. They learn how to take care of each other, how to take care of the animals, how to be good stewards of the land, and they realize what a value it is that we do here on the farm, preparing that nutritious milk, and so they take a lot of pride in it, and that's nice to see.
Simple and natural. Milk, cheese, and yogurt, the real way to a healthy life. Learn more at winnersdrinkmilk.com. Every single day, dairy delivers for you.
Hey guys, if you think you might have erectile dysfunction, you probably do, because 40% of men over 40 have ED. It's no surprise men feel uncomfortable or embarrassed talking about their condition. At the Indianapolis Men's Clinic, we get it. However, it's important to get past any discomfort and start resolving it. Untreated consequences of ED can be very damaging to a man and his partner physically and emotionally. There's no need for that. By taking action today, you can save your relationship and get back to the man you want to be. At the Indianapolis Men's Clinic, our physicians know how to solve your problem and will find a solution that will work for you. Your visit is only $99, and you'll see results that day. Call 999-9000. That's 999-9000 or indymensclinic.com. Be sure to ask about the revolutionary Priapus therapy, known to increase stamina, sensitivity, and even size.
Let's face it, Dan, guys avoid hospitals like the plague. And I get it. But according to our friends at Franciscan Health, colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer death, and it's treatable. That's why I decided, the heck with putting it off, I got my colonoscopy.
And I was right behind you, no pun intended. Look, guys, if you're over 50, suck it up and get it done. It's a piece of cake.
Seriously, the folks at Franciscan Health couldn't be better. You go in, you get the procedure, and when you're done, you get the results right away.
And if all goes well, it could be 10 years before you have to go again and get another. And with Madness games on, you got a great excuse to sit around and watch basketball for a day.
1 in 20 Americans will be diagnosed with colorectal cancer in their lifetime.
So get the procedure for you, your wife, and your kids.
Go to franciscanhealth.org/over50 to learn the facts. That's franciscanhealth.org/over50.
Then call 833-439-3464 to schedule an appointment, even on a Saturday. And tell them Dan and Big Joe told you to call.
The next generation of Galaxy has arrived at T-Mobile. The Samsung Galaxy S10e is here and loaded with features that'll make you popular wherever you go, like wireless power share. You can turn your phone into a wireless charger to power up other devices. No cables required. And right now at T-Mobile, the Samsung Galaxy S10e is included with unlimited for just $40 a line for 4 new lines. That's a savings of over $1,500 when you buy 4 phones. So you can get unlimited somewhere else. Or for $40 a line for 4 new lines at T-Mobile, you can get unlimited with a Samsung Galaxy S10e included. Call 1-800-T-Mobile or visit a store today.
$30 for essentials plus $10 for Galaxy S10e with autopay via 36 monthly bill credits for well-qualified buyers. Customers may notice lower speeds and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs per month. Video at 480p plus taxes and fees. Qualifying credit, finance agreement, and service required. Contact us before canceling service or remaining balance due. Galaxy S10e 0 down plus 2084 for 36 months. $749.99 before credits. 0% APR.
Hey, John here for CarX. All right, wintertime has been a hassle for your ride. I know that it has. So send it in to a Joe Childers Run CarX location. I'll give you a great example. 135 in Greenwood. Got a location off of Thompson Road out in Beech Grove on the southeast side of town. Stop 11 in US 31. It's a fantastic location as well. Just a great group of folks ready, willing, and able to get your car done up right. The right way with the timely service, the guarantees, and the great pricing. One of the things that I love is they're going to tell you what's what, and they are going to get it fixed. And part of the issue is that it may just not be one thing on your vehicle. Again, it's been a tough ride for the wintertime around here in central Indiana. So you'll know that CarX is going to give that thing the once over and make sure everything is running smoothly. It has always been the place for brakes. Still is. It is the place for tires. Brand names that you know, that you trust at great prices, and anything you need done on your car to fix it up, they can do. Joe Childers, tell him I sent you and make it CarX today.
Speed and power. Incredible accuracy. This trophy is not given, it must be earned. The NCAA Division II Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. March 13th through 16th at the IU Natatorium in Indianapolis. Visit ncaa.com/tickets and secure your seats today.
Hey Indy 11 fans, Coach Rennie here. Opening night tickets for March 30th are on sale now. Go to indy11.com or call 317-685-1100 to reserve your seat today.
Sports with Dan Dockich.
It's interesting. If you were going to ask me earlier in the year, who would be down to stretch for a Big Ten title and who would be down to stretch trying to get in the NCAA, Purdue or Indiana? A lot of you, certainly after the Crossroads Classic, would have said, well, are you crazy? There's no way in hell Indiana's going to be that team. No way in hell is it going to be Purdue. No way in hell is it not going to be Indiana. Matt Painter's the coach of the year in the league.
Dan Dockich, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
Nachos, lemon heads, my dad's boat. You won't go down because
on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
I'm John. Thank you for joining us. So somebody called in Tony Kyle and said I was making fun of him yesterday.
Yeah, and you were ripping on him.
I was ripping on him.
I said he rips me every day. Who should I email about it?
Who, you remember anybody in particular I was ripping on yesterday? It could be a wide variety of folks. Who knows?
So it was either something about Miles or was that John Galt guy?
John Galt.
Talking Purdue.
So wait a minute. Let me get this straight. If it would be John Galt, so John Galt's allowed to rip, but you're not allowed to rip back without hurt feelings? That's how that works?
Save that. Never mind.
Hey, I can't deal with any butthurt sensitivity around here. I mean, especially during Anything Goes, which we have coming up at 6. If you're not worthy, you're just not worthy. That's okay, because some aren't.
Hey, we come on at 3.
Believe me. There are sometimes that Anything Goes, I'm thinking, oh, man, where the hell is this going to go right here? Oh, man.
I'm concerned because I'm going to miss Anything Goes for like the next week and a half, so... No. Oh, boy.
I'm just thinking the next time I take a call is going to be the last time I take a call.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Now, see if Unimark knows who got mad. I'm kind of curious what.
He said he didn't leave a name, and so.
I'm mad. What did JMV say about me? Click. How dare that bunghole say that about me?
Where's your manager?
Let me talk to Jeff Rickard. Where is he? Andy's at 239-1070. Andy, hello. How are you?
Good. I'm privileged, by the way, to maybe be your last caller.
Well, you know what? I got my fingers crossed here. I do.
First off, with the NFL, like everybody's talking the Browns.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I want to say is, how about the Raiders? All they did was get another amazing wide receiver and a first-round draft pick.
Yeah. They do have and well, listen, they have a couple of. I'd be interested what Brown and Williams look like together. You know what I mean? So they got Tyrell Williams today too, and we'll see. I mean, I guess you gotta bring something because first year for Gruden wasn't a good one in Raiderland last year. So you got to bring something to the lame duck Oakland area coming up in that final season this year.
Absolutely, and one thing about the Pacers. We kind of say it about the Colts, too, how they're the good locker room, the good group of guys. What's your call on the good group of guys that never win a championship?
Both.
You don't hear that all.
Yeah, I think that people certainly love that around here, and there's a lot of reason to love it.
Oh, I do.
But at some point, I mean, you're right. At some point, that's not going to be enough. At some point, you got to cash in. Because, I mean, you just do. These are nice guys, but now it's time to win, challenge for a title, move on in the postseason, whatever. That does often wear. It's a good thing, and you always want that. I mean, people certainly appreciate it that are paying these high prices, disposable income to go to games, to watch games, to get the gear. But, at some point, that talk's going to be over, and it's going to be more about who's getting the job done.
Yeah, just kind of need some of those guys just to get on each other and get them to get better.
And listen, it's still too early to say that about either one, by the way, too. And I know people want to, we got to win right now, but people still are going to embrace that. But the expectations, especially with the Colts, in which we're talking about, those expectations, I don't know how many people around here realize exactly how high those expectations are going to be next year. They're going to be heavy.
Oh. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep. Andy, thank you for the call. I appreciate it. The Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. He's a part of the Butler Bulldog Radio Network, getting ready for a little action in Madison Square Garden coming up later on tonight. Dogs in Providence at 7, and Nick Gardner joins us right now. I'm still not sure what I saw in that bum rush to end the regular season by Providence, to be honest with you, because, I mean, even the final score in double digits did not indicate just how dominant the Friars were.
No, you're right. How you doing today, JMV?
I'm great. How are you? I'm great. How are you? Well. I'm sorry. That was a horrible introduction by me. That's my bad.
No, look, it was, I think that's a team in Providence. They'd struggled to shoot the basketball from the perimeter. And, they were able to get in rhythm. And, look, it's like anywhere you're playing. If a guy makes a couple early or a team makes a couple early, they're feeling good, things can kind of snowball. And that was certainly what happened in Rhode Island last weekend. Reeves got going. He can make shots. He's a really good freshman who got hurt, and then that kind of stunning things. But, boy, they started feeling really good, and it was kind of an avalanche at times. And the Dogs just couldn't get them out of rhythm. And it goes to show you that you've got to really set a tone early. I think that's going to be really important. Providence is in power, a big group. But when they make shots, they make them that much more difficult to defend. So you've really got to set a tone and try to lock in and make them beat you from the interior here tonight at Madison Square Garden.
6:30 pregame show. 7P is the tip from Madison Square Garden. That is Butler and Providence. Does this Butler team have enough offense to catch a significant and productive wave in this Big East tournament?
Oh, I think so. I think there's no doubt. I mean, when you're talking, and really it comes from making threes, right? That's how teams can really boost their offense. They can be much more efficient. And when you're talking guys like Sean McDermott, who hasn't shot the ball great, but look, his numbers show he's a better shooter than that, so you would like to think he's due to make some shots. Jordan Tucker can shoot the basketball. Paul Jorgensen has been shooting it better. And so I do. I really think, look, with as bunched up as the Big East was this year and regular season results aside, if you can put it together here for a few days, there's no doubt about it. You can make some shots and get hot. There's absolutely a chance for the Dogs to put enough offense out there to make some noise at the Garden.
And let's say this: the Big East has been pretty tight this year. It's been pretty tight from top to bottom, really.
Oh, it's been crazy. I mean, obviously those two teams in Marquette and Villanova kind of separated themselves, but even at the end of the season, I mean, Marquette loses 4 straight. They kind of come back to the pack. And so, the top of the league maybe wasn't as elite as it's been. And then you look at the bottom of the league, and that improved as well. And so it just really bunched things up, and it really came down to matchups. When you look at the results, certain teams had a favorable matchup against others. There were a lot of splits. And so I think every team is coming into this tournament kind of saying, why not us? Who says we can't put it together and play consistently for a few days and make some noise in what is an awesome stage and an awesome setting? And so I think it's a really unique field in that sense that every game has been up for grabs. Mark and I have joked on the air that, I don't care who the opponent is or what's going on, but my bet is, more times than not, you're going to come down to that under 8, that under 4 media timeout, and it's going to be a 2 or maybe 3 possession game. And each team feels like they have a good chance to win it if they can make some plays down the stretch.
Yeah, Nick Gardner, the Butler Bulldog Radio Network. He and Mark Minner got you coming up at 6:30 tonight. That's after us on the pregame show, getting you set for the Dogs and the Friars as a part of the Big East Conference tournament. All right, give me some things. And I know that there wasn't a lot that was great to talk about with Butler and that regular season finale. But give me some points on this team that you do feel good about that could translate beginning later on tonight against Providence.
Well, yeah, I think shooting the basketball is big. Providence is a big club. Butler can put some lineups out there that are going to force them to spread out a little bit. And if you can make some shots, you can open some things up on the interior. I think one thing, look, we talk about Providence size. Well, on the flip side of that, Butler's speed can be advantageous as well. And if you can force some more misses, you can get out in transition and get some easy opportunities against a big Providence group. Because, look, as well as all these teams have played, on the flip side, they've had some times when they've struggled. And so you've got to try to do whatever you can with your group to bring some of that out in them. And I really think if the Dogs can come out and make some shots early, they can really dictate some things and they can help control tempo and use that speed to their advantage on the perimeter and really make things tough on those Providence guards and trying to get into their sets and get into their offense.
Yeah, boy, the bracket from top to bottom is pretty interesting. I know that nobody wants to look ahead or not, but kind of tough not to when you're staring down that one seed if you do get past Providence.
At noon. At noon. So, it's one game, one possession at a time. But, I think these guys have the right mentality, and they understand what's ahead of them. But they have been they've been able to focus at times like this, and you just hope you can get it together. And I really think, it seems really simple, but a lot of times it comes down to if you can make some shots and how that can dictate how the rest of the game can go. And I think, look, my positive Butler blue eyes see a team that's due to make some shots, and hopefully that comes together tonight at the Garden Forum.
You know what, too? The other thing, too, you guys give me a little bit of a break tomorrow, too, right? So, you guys win. You start at 12:30. So that's why you got to win. Right. Give me a little. And guys could join me. Right afterwards, we could do. I always like when I get you on the line like that, and we talk back and forth, so we can have a little bit of fun with that after 3 tomorrow. Hopefully,
I am all in. I hope that's the case for us, JMV. Let's do it.
Well, I do too, because I enjoy talking to you, and I don't want to see this thing come to an end whatsoever. So push it as far as you can go, and when you got a lot of non-believers out there, just see what the hell can happen. Tip it up 7 o'clock tonight, and see what you can do. All right, we'll be listening. We'll transition nicely from an incredibly wild and hopefully not too obnoxious anything goes to you guys at 6:30 for the pregame show, okay?
Sounds like a plan. Thanks for having me on, JMV.
Always, Nick. Thank you. Nick Gardner, the Butler Bulldog Radio Network. He is on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Is DeMolling here? Did you guys see
wrapping up some
wrapping up
stuff.
Rick DeMolling, you remember him, a member of the offensive line back in the day with the Colts. He's going to be in studio with me for a couple of minutes. I think Big D Andrews is going to be in here as well. We're going to talk them up coming up on the other side. John Clayton, the professor, at 5:30. Stephen Holder at 5 o'clock. We'll get you back on course with the latest in the NFL free agency. Pacers OKC tomorrow night, where you can be with me to get your chance at a Vegas vacation with Evan Williams and Bud Light. That begins coming up tomorrow. We're going to have a blast. I'll tell you where that is and get you a chance to win some stuff. Other side next.
Want to win a trip to Vegas? Of course you do. Bud Light and Evan Williams are hosting a Papa Shot to Vegas contest. 16 events, one winner. Details now, 1070thefan.com.
Hey, this is Lee Dockich for Body Sculpt RX. So you've heard Dan and Kyle talk about their results with the medically supervised programs at Body Sculpt RX, and now I'm doing cool sculpting. Guys and gals, there are some areas working out and diet just can't get. Did you know that cool sculpting is the #1 non-invasive lipo procedure in the U.S.? I just did it, and it doesn't hurt, with no downtime. So take your tax refund and invest in yourself. Book your appointment today for a free consultation with Maria and Michelle at Body Sculpt RX.
Hubler has it. Savings. Hubler has it. Choices. Hubler has it. Hubler has it all.
Indiana's Auto Giant is changing car buying forever. Introducing a warranty so huge, you can drive around the world 8 times and still be covered. It's Hubler Auto Group's massive 10-year, 200,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any new vehicle at all Hubler locations with the warranty included. Chevys, Buicks, GMCs, and Fords. The warranty's included. Acuras, Hondas, Nissans, and Mazdas. The warranty's included. The Hubler family has helped Hoosiers for 60 years, and we're not stopping now. Visit drivehubler.com for the perfect car and our 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. As Indiana's Auto Giant, Hubler has it all. Why buy anywhere else? You're invited to Hubler. Click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it. Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles, except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. A copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
On cold, snowy days, you just want to stay in the comfort of your home until your furnace breaks. Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. For same-day repairs that will keep you warm and cozy, trust the highly trained technicians at 1 Hour. Call 855-1-HOUR today and get $51 off any repair. That's 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. License 8001-0668.
Do you want another truck or a truck like no other? How about deals on that truck during Ram Truck Month? A truck with an available touchscreen that stretches an entire foot. A truck that has capabilities that don't exist in any other truck in its class, like available air suspension. Heck, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year truck. Do you want a truck that's not only about towing and hauling and payload capability, but a truck that stretches every ability? It's the all-new Ram 1500. During Ram Truck Month, well-qualified returning FCA lessees get a low-mileage lease on the all-new 2019 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 with a V6 engine for $309 a month for 24 months with $1,974 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. Class based on light-duty pickups. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution or lease through Chrysler Capital. Lessee is solely responsible for termination fees. Current lease must end by 3/31/20. 25-cent charge for each mile over 20,000. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 4/1/19.
Hey, it's John here for PAI. It's WeGrowHairIndy.com. How's the dome coverage doing for you if it is not working as well as you had hoped? Seriously. And you want your real growing hair again? What do we talk about on this show all the time? Isn't it great to have options? I mean, fantastic to have options. And that's what PAI gives you to get back your real growing hair. Multi-unit hair grafting, Artist Robotic FUE. It is a way to tackle your hair loss the real way with PAI. That's 888-724-5129. It's your real growing hair again with PAI. WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Chronic headaches, constant sinus infections, pain and pressure. The fatigue was overwhelming.
That's Karen. She suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She'd go to urgent care, see her doctor.
And we would do the same thing. Steroids, antibiotics, nasal sprays.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty.
Now my sinus cavities are open. You can breathe on a constant basis and not get sinus infections. I don't get headaches anymore. I don't take naps anymore. I'm like, oh, this is miraculous.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure? Is it difficult to breathe through your nose? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with the Indianapolis Sinus Center. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Hey gang, Garrison here, time again, Hoosiers. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. People, there's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. Anything from the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection and great displays of Americana. Don't forget to come and see us at the Indy 1500 this weekend, Friday 2 to 8, Saturday 8 until 6, and Sunday 9 until 4 at the Indy 1500. We'll see you there.
Dan Dockage here. Thanks to Key Bank, the official banking home of the Indiana Pacers, we can keep making financial progress here and, of course, keep growing basketball here. Key Bank, use the red key, and remember, Key Bank is a member of the FDIC.
Your Indiana Pacers host Paul George and the Oklahoma City Thunder Thursday at 7. It's the Thunder's only visit this season. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Thunder Thursday at 7.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
All right, welcome back. John Clayton, 5:30. Stephen Holder in the 5 o'clock hour. Get a rundown of the latest NFL free agency news. Pacers OKC tomorrow night. I'll remind you where I'm going to be tomorrow at Coach's Downtown. That's Seven Williams and Bud Light, Papa Shot contest. It is your chance, and I got other chances coming up too, but tomorrow it's a full show at Coach's Tavern downtown before the Pacers-Oklahoma City game, and to get people signed up to win that trip to Vegas, Papa Shot style. But in studio right now, I talk about it all the time. I just actually mentioned it. Dome coverage essential if you want it, and PAI in the house. Darren Andrews with PAI's in here.
JMV, how are you?
Well, good to see you. Hey, who's this guy? Who's this guy between us right here?
You know who this guy is, Rick DeMulling.
Rick, my man, Rick DeMulling. I saw him so much over the fall during the Colts season. We were having pregame parties every time, and this kind of morphed into now this for you, huh?
Yeah,
that's cool.
Blessed by you, actually. I mean, we
blessed by. Did you guys hear that out there? Hey, Tony, make sure you get that on tape. We got to
dub that. And keep
blessed
that.
by me. Yes, you got it.
We had that conversation. I showed you what my dome was looking like, and you said, "Hey, I got some people that can make this happen." And here we are.
Are you excited about it? When's this going to take place?
Monday. So I fly out tomorrow to visit my mother with my son, and come back on Monday and let it rip.
Man, now where are you flying to?
Washington.
Nice. Well, that's cool. What do you guys, can you share with us what's going on?
Yeah,
here?
so multi-unit hair grafting, we're doing this front, reframing the face, and we were talking about before doing some radio spots about spent years playing professional football, hiding under the helmet. It wasn't really an issue, and Rick's, he's out in the business world now. He's a local business owner, and again, you were probably our most high-profile VIP.
That billboard looks spectacular up there on 465.
Someone maybe
you gonna get a billboard too, Rick?
Someone maybe about to outdo you.
Let's do a duo one. We do a selfie. Selfie off with it. Yeah,
like this. So yeah.
So yeah, Monday's the day. Multi-unit hair grafting. We're doing platelet-rich plasma and laser treatments with them. So taking that global approach. So real excited. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Man, so how do you feel about it? You excited about it?
I'm excited. I was nervous at first because my wife's like asking me all these questions like medically, right? I'm like, I don't know. I just go and do it.
Right.
That's what I know what I want to do and I'm going to go do it. But she's the nurse and she's the one saying, I have all these questions. I'm like, well, I'm not the one to ask. Talked to my man Darren. He got her right, and she's on board.
Give us an example of the Q&A you and Rick had, Darren.
Obviously, particularly, with his wife being in the medical field. So obvious medical questions. What's the procedure like? What sort of medications do you use? My answer is obviously it's an outpatient procedure. Yeah. It's done at the pyramids. We've got physicians that specialize 100% in it, medical team. So just, standard basic stuff. The recovery afterwards, talking about what do I look like afterwards. Obviously, he's a guy that likes to work out, still stays very active and fit. So just talking about that little bit of downtime from a workout point of view post-procedure and just stepping her through in a detailed way, sending her to the website at wegrowhairindy.com and letting her watch the videos like her on your VIP page.
Yeah, I talk about this all the time. So 33 and above, that's when you really start to notice the coverage kind of disappearing. When did you notice, Rick?
I would say that's about right. And in the last 5 years, it really just kind of like ran away from my head. Is what the hair just started like I'm out, I'm gone.
Right.
And so I started. I've always been a hat wearer, but it was like any chance I could wear a hat in any situation, I was on it.
Right. So you can like shed the hat. That's one of the best things. I always say this: no matter what you're thinking right now, it's great to have options. And this real growing hair option is one that I think all dudes, if you really dig it, you don't want to lose it, should look into.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the latest technology. Obviously, the multi-unit hair grafting, more hair in a single transplant. So if a large area is lost, perfect. We've also got the Artist Robotic FUE, the most advanced medical robot in the world from a hair transplantation point of view. So you name it, we have it. One of 2 places in the entire country that have both those options. But we do preventative stuff as well. So a hair transplant's not for everybody. You want to control the loss. We've got options there with PRP and laser treatments.
Are you guys going to shoot some footage of him going through this too?
Lots of videos.
There you go. Yeah.
My wife's all concerned because she said, like, what are you going to be under? I'm like, no, I'm actually going to be talking, but they're going to put me on a local or something. She's like, you say the weirdest stuff when you do that. I did it when I had some medical stuff.
Roll
and
some
I said
tape on that.
I think my wife might, or she might burn it because I say some pretty embarrassing things.
So Rick DeMullen's in studio with us right now. Darren Andrews of PAI. Rick's going to go through the procedure coming up on Monday. So what have you been doing since your days in the NFL?
One, raising a family, married to a beautiful woman named Danielle. And then we've had 3 kids, 7, 5, and 3 that take up the bulk of our time.
Yeah.
But as far as work, I've been getting into insurance and a little bit of real estate, but really focusing on insurance right now.
Oh, really now? Yeah. Now, that's just your – is it interesting to have a second career like that after football?
It is. I didn't think I was going to, but then I was like, I got to do something.
Do you ever consider yourself playing football to be an insurance guy one of these days?
I did take the path to get to insurance through the NFL. It's uncommon. But yeah, it was one of those things where I got to do something.
Right.
I'm driving my wife crazy at home, and I want to build something to be able to hopefully pass something on to my children. But lately, what I've been thinking about is a business idea actually for you, Darren. So how about we talk to some of these professional players, maybe like an Andrew Luck, has a little bit of extra hair in his neck, harvest that, and we can charge people out the yin-yang to plant that in their head. I don't know.
Is that technology there, Darren? I'm not aware of that technology yet.
I like the way he thinks, but that's some technology we're probably going to have to come up with, because I think, unfortunately, if it's not your own hair that you're donating, the body's going to reject it.
Yeah,
but hey,
it makes sense.
I guarantee you somebody will buy it.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Andrew Luck hair.
It's Rick DeMullen in studio with us, Darren Andrews. Explain, much like Rick is doing right now, how can people, at least on the ground floor level, get in about this process and maybe thinking about doing it?
Yeah, so the first step for a lot of guys is educational, right? So it's calling us at 1-888-724-5129, coming to our clinic and going through a free and private evaluation. Well, joking aside, hair loss is a sensitive issue for a lot of guys. So we've been through it. We've got consultants, including myself, at the clinic that have been through it. Visit the website, wegrowhairindy.com. Lots of videos, VIP pages, educational approach. We're big on that.
Well, JMV, I know you're probably like me. You want to take advice from somebody who's done it. And that was a big thing for me. I didn't like taking advice from a coach who didn't play the game.
Right.
So obviously with Darren going through it, and everybody in the office has gone through it. So listening to what they had to say was kind of listening to a coach. Hey, this is what you can expect.
Sure.
These are the results you're going to be getting, and I can believe it, and not just that they're like, yeah, these guys trying to sell me something. I mean, they're really they've gone through it, and they really know what they're talking about.
It's been amazing how many people actually have asked me about this. Whether they hear about it or see the billboard or see the commercial. I'm telling you what, when Andy Griffith runs on Saturday, man, where there's a marathon, I'm like after every one. You ever notice that? Every commercial break, there I am right there. So no, it's great. It really does, Rick. It works. It's fascinating to think about too. And if it's your real growing hair you want again, this is the way right here in the PAI.
We're tackling hair loss.
Tackling hair loss.
Tackling hair loss. Rick DeMulling, former Colts, former NFL player, and Darren Andrews in studio, PAI. That number one more time?
1-888-724-5129.
All right. And Rick, keep us updated on what goes down, okay? We'll have you on because we're going to do a lot of parties again this fall. We'll have you on and we'll get to check it out for ourselves.
Absolutely. I will not wear a hat.
There you go. Rick DeMulling and Darren Andrews, PAI in studio. Quick break, hour 2, and your chance to win some stuff. Straight ahead.
Big names.
Andrew Luck.
So, AJ.
Pacers president Kevin Pritchard.
Talking to Chris Ballard.
Big interviews.
How's the shoulder feeling?
It feels awesome. Robert Wall. I don't think there's a bad contract in baseball.
What are your issues? What are the problems? What are some of the solutions you have?
Big news.
Oladipo out indefinitely.
It sucks. If they're talking about it.
The focus has been not on what we don't have, what we do have.
We're talking about it. FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan. Your home for Indy sports.
Hey guys, looking for a reason to spend 3 days on the couch watching basketball? Schedule your vasectomy at Urology of Indiana for a Thursday or Friday, then sit back, relax, and catch some games over the weekend while you recover. It may be the only time your wife approves of hoarding the couch and the remote control. My vasectomy at Urology of Indiana was simple and took only about 15 minutes. Soon after, I was out the door and on my way home. During my recovery, I took ibuprofen and was back at my office in 3 days. The docs at Urology of Indiana are board certified and perform vasectomies every day of the week, all year long. They are pros at what they do, and they have multiple vasectomy clinics, so chances are good there's one close to you. If you've been putting off your vasectomy, now is the time. You'll never have a better excuse to watch basketball.
Call Urology of Indiana or visit vasectomyindy.com for information and to schedule an appointment. That's vasectomyindy.com.
Hey, Dan Dockage here for Window Nation. Spring is close. Temperatures are warming. Are your windows tough to open? Are they cracked? Are they drafty? All signs that you need new windows. Spring into action now for huge Window Nation savings. Get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy. Buy 4, get 4 free, no limit. Plus, House of Windows for only $69 a month. Not only do you get 2 free windows for every 2 you buy, but you're also getting brand new energy-efficient Window Nation windows installed for just about $2 a day. Think about it. It's less than a cup of coffee or a gallon of gas. Now's the time to take advantage of this limited time offer. Window Nation offers over 1,500 custom window and door style combinations designed and engineered to tame our wild weather conditions, all with A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Just doesn't get any better. Hurry, but this offer won't last forever. Call Window Nation, 866-90-NATION or windownation.com. That's 866-90-NATION.
AAA in Indianapolis had over 43,000 pothole rescues last year alone. Jeff, are you prepared for the pothole season this year?
I wasn't until about 2 weeks ago. Then my wife hit a huge one on I-65, and all of a sudden we got prepared.
Well, I was going to say, were you covered? Do you have AAA?
Yes, we have AAA, so I felt better about it.
Oh, there's that peace of mind. Absolutely, when you have AAA. If you're a AAA member, you're covered if you get a flat tire, if you run out of gas, if you lock your keys out of your car, or even if you hit one of those pesky potholes.
Fair to say, Joe, that AAA is actually my survival kit when it comes to potholes.
Absolutely.
No question about that. And, it's not that expensive either, Joe. You've got $6, right?
Oh, yeah.
$6 a month. You're covered anytime, anywhere, any car. If you're going on spring break, you'll have peace of mind with AAA.
Spring break, that's a great point. That's coming up, too. Yeah, if you don't have AAA, get it now. Learn more by stopping by an office. Visit AAA.com or call them at 844-GO-AAA-GO.
That's right. 844-GO-AAA-GO.
Let Sport Clips Haircuts upgrade your day.
During the month of March, get $5 off the double MVP experience via text message when you check in online or with the Sport Clips app. That means after your fresh cut, you'll get double the massaging shampoo and legendary hot steam towel. Then we'll give you $5 off. It's a win-win. The Sport Clips app. Download, check in, and cut the wait. Mobile opt-in required to receive discount code. Offer expires 3/31/19. See terms at sportclips.com/thankyou.
Andy Moore Toyota, Avon, 5 miles west of 465 on US 36. AndyMooreToyota.com. Everybody. Fuel efficiency technology. I mean, something really nice, especially really nice if you're thinking about, I don't know, somebody's first car, turning 16, down the road, maybe a graduation gift. Man, the Corolla is a great graduation gift. So the Camry, too. Fuel efficiency when you're going away to school. What a great car. And you can find them right now and talk to Ben Mendoza about that. Talk to Robert about how they can get you into that new ride. If you're looking for something maybe a little bit bigger, you've got the family emerging, right? The Highlander, the 4Runner, the RAV4, SUV-wise will work for you. Simply Indiana's best because of the way they deal with you, the prices, and all that they have on the lot and online at AndyMooreToyota.com. And tell them I sent you to Andy Moore Toyota in Avon. It's 5 miles west of 465 on US 36.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis. Butler opens Big East tournament play against Providence this evening at 6:30 on FM 107.5 at 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
The soft tropical air caresses your skin with a gentle kiss.
FM 107.5 at 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV.
The soft tropical air caresses your skin with a...
Oh, hold on.
Just play it
My
twice.
bad. I have your YouTube up. That's what it is because I was reading the comments. So we got
I just thought you were
DCU.
playing that twice to make me mad. Yeah.
No, I should have done. All right, hold on.
When you have a big loss against, Philly, and it was a meaningful game, sometimes, the mood could be down a little bit, because guys really wanted that game. I thought Coach did a good job of, making sure everybody was engaged for this game, and he, motivated us like he usually does, and we was ready to play, from the jump. We had a pep in our step.
Darren Collison from last night, 103-98 over the Knicks. Darren had 16. Bojan Bogdanovic, which is absolutely positively a must-bring back. My man has solidified as a major contributor now and in the future. Miles Turner, 15, 103-98. Pacers get Oklahoma City, Bankers Life Fieldhouse. That is coming up tomorrow night. Jay Riddle says this. JMV on Twitter. Maybe Tyreek Evans equals Roy Hibbert and Wesley Matthews equals Andrew Bynum. I think that there was something going on, long before they decided to go ahead and bring in Wesley Matthews. And I get what you're saying here. You're saying that, Wesley Matthews comes in and, hey, here he is. He's the starter. Yeah, this has happened long before. Whatever rub is going on, that was not the early stages of it to me. Whatever might be happening. And again, that was brought up by virtue of Tyreek Evans. Tyreek Evans was out last night due to personal reasons. Tyreek Evans will be out again tomorrow night due to personal reasons, of which Nate McMillan would not elaborate. So we're kind of forced to speculate. And, yeah, I think we're all kind of on the same page there with it, where this thing is going. And it's nothing new. It's been going this way for a while. Colts news today, Pierre Desir is back with the team. So I think a lot of people are happy with that, at least at the corner position. Steve in San Antonio writes this. Hey, JMV, since the price tags are coming down, do you think Golden Tate might still be an option? Well, listen, I'm not going to say – I don't know if they're going to target another wide receiver. Like I speculated yesterday that after Devin Funchess was brought in, that they'll probably draft a young wide receiver at some point in the draft, and – Deion Kane and go that direction. I don't know I don't know if they're going to look at it that high. I will still tell you this, and I'll stand by it. I think they need to. Like, somebody tweeted at me this morning and said, hey, you don't need a high-level wide receiver. You don't need a so-called number one or elite-level wide receiver to win Super Bowls. Look at this list. That was retweeted, something that Albert Breer had tweeted out. But I think you, in this category, need to be better, right? I mean, even with T.Y. and Funchess and Rodgers, I mean, don't you need – and I mean, Deion Kane. I know a lot of people have made Deion Kane to be like damn Jerry Rice coming back here. But don't you need a little bit more? But again, they don't view that position like I do or like we do. They just don't. I put more of a priority on it. They do not. They believe in the system. They believe in guys fitting their system. And that one's a tough one to argue with. But I think there's more of an argument now that last year, okay, yeah, going in with not a high level of expectations and then kind of knocking it out of the park late. But then you're looking at this year, and yeah, those expectations are going to be times 2, times 4, if not higher. So that one's a tough one to deal with, I think, right there. We'll see. We shall see. I mean, this is the path that they have chosen to take, and they're sticking to it, and it's worked so far. It has worked so far. It's from John Jared Robinson, a JMV. Concerning the Colts, I'm okay with not making a splash in free agency because the players that hit that market are players that other teams felt the value did not match their worth. Stay the course and the draft. I will say this, and you're right, but I will also say that sometimes the value of bringing somebody in upgrades what you already have. I mean, there are a lot of ways, and we saw this back with the Grigson era and bringing in Andre Johnson and Frank Gore. I mean, the hype certainly didn't match up with the production. But, what happens when it does? What happens to a Kansas City team when they bring in Sammy Watkins to match up on the other side of, or wherever, Tyreek Hill decides to line up? What happens when you do that? I mean, it can work out. What happens when the Patriots, and again, I hate to use them as examples because they're just like on their own damn planet. But what happens when you bring in Stephon Gilmore and all of a sudden you have an absolute lockdown island type of cornerback? And it can work for you. It can work for you. That's from Robbie. To the dude that doesn't want a top wide receiver watch the Chiefs game, I'd say the Colts could use a guy. That's what concerns me more than anything else. Anything else. And hopefully they have it covered here. It's from BT Do. Hey, JMV, there's no way the Pacers can let Bogdanovich go, is there? Evans has to go. I don't think there's any doubt about the second part of that, and there's no doubt about the first part. He has not only played well to get a new deal and more money, but he has solidified himself as a go-to piece on this team. He is now an essential go-to piece on this team. This is not just all sprouting by virtue of the lack of Victor Oladipo. This is a game that we are seeing blossom right in front of our eyes. So, yes, he is worth it. Yes, he will be worth it, and he's essential personnel now. Wouldn't you agree?
Gotta have him.
He is essential personnel.
Absolutely agreed. Well, let's go back to the question that you asked about a month ago. Of the free agents returning, where are we at now? Is it Bojan and then Thad? Remember what's the list of free agents?
I'm going to say this
that you need to sign,
and this is nothing against Thad and nothing against leadership and what he brings, but when you look at the production that Bojan has brought, he is the most essential right now on the list. Absolutely the most essential. I mean, again, this doesn't happen all the time in the NBA. I mean, you're talking about a guy, was traded kind of a throw-in and was just out there for anybody to grab. And with this team, he has, evolved into a go-to guy. And I always find this funny, and I bring this up all the time. Just remember what we thought about him in December of a year ago. You think about that Boston game and the inbounds play and that, and oh my goodness. And I remember bringing it up here. It was my whole, was this guy a square peg in a round hole type of deal? And, we saw him, really take shape in the postseason, that 7-game series with the Cavaliers, because he was also doing it defensively. He has built himself into an absolute have and essential for this team moving forward. It's really fun to see. That part is fun to see. Gets along. He's a part of what makes this thing go right here. It's from Stan. Hey, JMV, all we ask is for the Colts to get one of those guys, and they blew it. You got to spend a little to win a lot. Ballard has not earned that. He earns it when and only when the Super Bowl win gets here. Listen, that is definitely going to be a gauge. It's not necessarily the gauge right now. I would tend to agree. And they would tell you, well, look, we think that Funchess is going to be a one-year guy coming off a bad season, which in 2017 was a really good season. He's going to fit in well or whatever. I would say that. I think they need another essential guy, and I've said this all along. I think they need another essential guy at wide receiver. They didn't feel that need a year ago. They didn't address it. You saw what happened mid-season. You bring in Dontrell Inman, and hell, he turned out to be the second-best wide receiver in the wide receiving core. And then as of right now, it doesn't look like he's going to come back. When people are asking, all right, what are they going to do? Are they going to go after any of these wide receivers that are left? I don't think so. I think they address something in the draft. I think that they hope for Deion Kane, and I think they like what they have right now. And I think you mix them in with the tight ends. That their view is just not like mine or what you might be thinking, and I hope that their view is accurate. Because my view, again, is you play a really good team in the postseason and you get stonewalled, friends. You got stonewalled. And we can talk about T.Y. Kenny is injured and couldn't get this, and there was no space whatsoever. None. That is my major concern. Again, against a good team. You can say what you want about Houston, say what you want about some of these matchups down the stretch, whether it was Tennessee or the Giants or the Cowboys, any of these December games. But once you got to a team that was worthy of a Final Four, it looked as if you had a lot to build on. It's hard to go against that philosophy because, again, that philosophy has worked. And I do get it. JMV, how can Colts fans be upset with Ballard in the way the free agency has gone so far? Ballard is doing exactly what he said he would do. Just like Bill Poley and Ballard has re-signed their own, and he will fill other needs through the draft. Matt, and again, what they're going to continue to do in free agency, they're just going to wait until the price tag gets to where they want it to be. We look at it as a lot of money to spend. They look at it the same as well, but you also look at it as we're not going to overspend. Now, there are some folks out there that suggest that they certainly overspend on Devin Funchess. I don't know what the rest of the market looked like with him. Some people thought that Tyrell Williams was going to be a guy they were going to go after. As it turned out, Tyrell Williams is going to end up with the Raiders. He had that history. Going to have that history of Sirianni, the Chargers, ends up with the Raiders. But they are certainly following that path and that philosophy. There's really not a lot to argue about right now. I would agree. Even if, like Ben in Greenwood, for example, is, mad, doesn't like the way this thing is going, I'll read this. I believe an NFL team that gets a free stadium and all the tax breaks the Colts get, they should be obligated to spend their salary cap. Hold on a second. I don't think they're obligated to do that. I think they're obligated to put a really good product on the field. And they feel that with what they're doing right now, they're putting a really good product on the field. That's their philosophy. That is their philosophy. So I can't argue. It's a plan, and it's a plan they're sticking to, and it's a plan over the past year that has worked. So it's tough to take a swing at that. I mean, hell, I got one little beef at wide receiver that I've kind of held on to for 2 years. And I do kind of understand. I don't know if there was any market outside of that of John Dorsey in Cleveland for Odell Beckham Jr. I mean, I've seen people suggest, well, the Colts could have really put together this. I mean, you don't know that. You don't know what they were thinking. You don't know if they even had any interest in it. JMV, embarrassing. I'm glad the shirt I wear is black and white striped and not all gray area like NBA refs. It is not even the same game. Blake Thorns, bro. Seriously. These are the best in the world. Have you not heard? Adrian Peterson back with the Redskins, 2 years and $8 million. And we're coming down the stretch right now. JMV, semi-Captain Obvious here, but 2019 free agency proves NFL is still king. Amazing how a dozen legit stars of contracts agreed to within days, yet MLB needed months to sign Harper and Machado. Makes me appreciate the NFL desire to sign guys now. I'm going to tell you what, this is an absolute nonstop cycle of endless news. I guess nonstop would mean endless, right? Just endless amounts of news, and everybody plays right into it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. JMV, can Funchess and maybe Golden Tate combine to be what the Colts need at number 2 and 3? I just don't know. I mean, I think they need somebody else now like that. I would want somebody to give that a little bit more depth than I like right now, but I'd be surprised if that's what they were thinking, Rob, honestly. Be more than just a little bit surprised. JMV, this is not a really good product. Solid, but leaves a lot to be desired. Like you said, it's all about the playoffs and rings. Well, it's also all about growth. I mean, let's face it. Compared to what you thought this was going to be, especially after 1-5, it was a spectacular turnaround. And listen, we bring the anti up all the time. The anti of strength of schedule. But still, essentially, they're playing exactly what you had to play, and they were winning. You don't know how this season is going to go. I mean, I think you have to give them certainly the benefit right now. Just my major concern is being loaded for the expectations like you clearly have right now. Maybe being a little bit more overwhelming than just being able to re-sign a couple of your own and bringing in some mid-level type of guys. Or if you could string some mid-level type of guys, and that's what they did a year ago. So, listen, I mean, it ended up the season as a really good product, a surprisingly good product. But we saw once that product ran into something that was top 4 NFL worthy, how that product looked, especially on the road. So that's where my concern is. Can you continue to turn the corner and make strides by doing what you do right now? The Kansas City Chiefs have released safety Eric Berry. They are undergoing a complete makeover. When you think about it, too, they transitioned from Bob Sutton, who ran a 3-4, to Steve Spagnuolo, who goes 4-3. You cut loose Justin Houston after not being able to find a trade partner for him. You're going to trade D Ford to the 49ers because you don't feel that he fits any longer a 4-3 after coming off a highly productive sack season. And now a guy that's been there forever, and Eric Berry, is being released. So, I mean, you talk about a team that was in the Final Four that is undergoing defensively a complete makeover right now. A complete makeover. Eric Berry. JMV, can you explain exactly what you thought about the wide receiver position before and what you think about it now? Yeah, I talked about this yesterday when we learned that Funchess was going to be, a guy they were going to bring in. They feel that, and again, Frank Reich told us this, a couple of weeks ago, They have a system. They feel that guys fit into their system more so than bringing in top-level guys or spending money on guys at that level. They're going to go with what they feel will fit, and they feel guys at that level are going to be able to fit their system. That's tough to argue. Because, I argued the same thing last year, and hell, it still worked out. Now, granted, there was a little bit of backup to my argument when you had to go out and really find somebody mid-season like Dontrell Inman that really saved the entire wide receiving core. I mean, he did. And there was some backup to my argument when they dropped a myriad of passes in the first part of the season, too. So there was some backup to my argument, but we all tend to forget about that because they go on that run, because they make the postseason, because they win a playoff game, because they take that step and get to the divisional round and lose to Kansas City. We kind of forget about that a little bit. There were moments midway through the season that, what I was talking about, what Rick Venturi was talking about was actually the case. You're going, well, wait a minute. Who are you throwing it to? But at the same time, you take a chance on a guy like Eric Ebron, who blossomed into a go-to guy after season upon season of disappointment with Detroit and their fans with the Lions. JMV, I've always respected and enjoyed the show and understand you try to stay neutral because of the relationship you have with other teams. But come on, man. Ballard just gave $13 million to a guy with the dropsies. No, it has nothing to do with that. I could not care less. Could not care less. Zero. You know what? They don't care what I say, and I don't care what they say. That is a really good working sports talk radio relationship. Yeah, they're not going to consider what I'm saying, and that's, I don't believe in their wide receiving philosophy, and they don't believe in mine. That's the best type of relationship that you can have. They're giving $10 million with $13 in incentives for a guy that dropped a lot of passes this year. Essentially, that's what happened to Eric Ebron last year. They bring in a guy that had been considered league-wide, and especially in Detroit, they bring in a guy in free agency that had been an utter disappointment. And he was a disappointment basically his entire career in Detroit. When you think about it, Funchess was a disappointment for one season in Carolina. You go back to 2017, and they thought they were on to something big. He had 63 catches, over 800 yards. I mean, he was a one-year disappointment. Ebron was basically, I think 1 year maybe he had that was decent to good in Detroit. He was a bad first-round pick and a wasted pick, a waste of time. So you can't say that. And that has nothing to do with hoping to bridge the gap with the relationship. They don't care what I say. And I like them, and I don't care what they say. But no, I don't stay neutral to stay neutral. I stay fair. And I remember what I say, and I remember what they say, and we go back to that. And if it was accurate in what they say, we hit it. If it's accurate in what I say, I hit it. It's just the way that it goes. And if it's inaccurate, we talk about it too. I mean, hell, I had a laundry list of inaccuracies that we go back to all the time and we make fun of here, but it has nothing to do with that. Never has and never will. That's the best part about having a relationship with them and with the Pacers is, they know that the criticism is going to come. And sometimes that can fracture relationships, that can ding it, but nobody over there said one word, and we all have pretty strong opinions around here about it. I mean, really, and you don't get that in a lot of markets, especially smaller markets, when you have the investment of a couple of professional organizations. And so it has nothing to do with that. Zero. And I really wish, and I hope you understand that now, Cuba, because, again, you can't just look at Funchess in 2018 and say, yeah, you know what, he's absolutely not going to work. Yeah, just because of the path that you got from Ebron a year ago. And think about that guy. I mean, just tremendous disappointment to an all-pro, to a go-to guy. So there is, again, a basis of comparison to be made there. And with that comparison, you can make some sense out of it. It has nothing to do with making sure you solidify relationships. I love you, man, but that's just a bunch of BS. All right, quick one. We'll come back. Stephen Holder coming up at 5 o'clock. We'll talk about what the Colts have done so far. I mean, might some of these blue light specials, some of these market values that are dwindling right now, much as of what we saw last year, might those be opportunities? And who could they be? Are they done with the wide receiver position until the draft? They like what they have right now? You like what they have right now. All right, besides some of the criticism that's been given, Connecticut Water question of the day, do you like what they've done so far? Are you okay with what they've done? Do you believe in the path that they're taking, much like, well, what they talk about and what they did a year ago? Connecticut Water question of the day. The Professor John Clayton, the 5 o'clock hour, too, and anything goes after 6. Back with you next.
Only for a limited time at Bill Estes Jeep, you can take over the payments on select pre-owned vehicles for as low as $88 a month, with down payments as low as $39. That's $88 a month. We have excess inventory from demos, repos, and early lease turn-ins, with some vehicles priced as low as $39.95. These vehicles must be sold, but supplies are limited. Have a trade-in? This month you could get up to $4,000 more for your trade, no matter the vehicle's condition. The Bill Estes Takeover Sale is going on right now. Take over payments on any pre-owned vehicles as low as $88 a month, with down payments as low as $39. We have extra inventory on our lot, but it will move fast. Stop by Bill Estes Jeep today. Bill Estes Jeep, located in beautiful Brownsburg at the hottest corner in Hendricks County.
Not all will have the credit to qualify. Price excludes tax, title, license, government fees, and a documentary fee. All advertised vehicles are subject to actual dealer availability. Please check with your dealer for more information. Some vehicles offered for sale may be subject to unrepaired manufacturer safety recalls.
It takes courage to talk with that someone special when there are problems in the bedroom. Erectile dysfunction, or PE, can shatter your confidence and make your relationship challenging. You can put an end to these issues. Have the courage to make just one confidential visit to the Indianapolis Men's Clinic and get that spark back in your relationship. The doctors at the Indianapolis Men's Clinic offer the latest solutions for all ED and PE issues, and you'll see results in your first visit, or there's no charge. Call 999-9000 to meet with their licensed providers, no matter your age or your conditions. Diabetes, high blood pressure, prostate cancer, low testosterone causing your issue. It doesn't matter. They can help. Call the Indianapolis Men's Clinic at 999-9000. That's 999-9000, or online at indymensclinic.com. Have the courage to take that first step. Indianapolis Men's Clinic, your key to a better life.
Indiana's auto giant is changing car buying forever. Introducing a warranty so huge, you can drive around the world 8 times and still be covered. It's Eubler Auto Group's massive 10-year, 200,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any new vehicle at all Eubler locations with the warranty included. Chevys, Buicks, GMCs, and Fords. The warranty's included. Acuras, Hondas, Nissans, and Mazdas. The warranty's included. The Eubler family has helped Hoosiers for 60 years, and we're not stopping now. Visit driveeubler.com for the perfect car and our 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. As Indiana's auto giant, Eubler has it all. Why buy anywhere else? You're invited to Eubler. Click driveeubler.com. Warranty available on new vehicles, except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. A copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Hey, let's make sure your house is looking good. Let's make sure your house is energy efficient. Hey, JMV here for Universal Windows Direct. You can have both. You can have both, and you probably need it too. Old and cracked windows are a pain. They look bad from the outside. I mean, all that cold air this time of year is right in, and your energy cost skyrocket. That's a pain. Super Spacer technology and the great-looking windows from Universal Windows Direct is what you need right now. Contact Justin, I should say, about him too, because we got some deals here. Every window you buy, the next window is free with no limits and 0% financing for 36 months with some restrictions applying and just a spectacular, true lifetime warranty. Get Justin in there with that free in-home estimate today. 317-547-2600. 317-547-2600. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. Like me, you'll be saying, I love my windows.
Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager of Benjamin Franklin Plumbing. It's always our goal to make lives better for the good people of Indianapolis. That includes children in need. That's why we'll donate $50 to Riley Hospital for Children for every new water heater we install. Call today and bring comfort to your home and to our kids.
Go with the flow, the local pros. Call Benjamin Franklin Plumbing.
Terms, conditions, and tax may apply. Offer valid February 1st through March 31st. License CP 101-00018.
Hey, Dan Dockett here for my friends at Just Add Water Boats, the only place I know of where you can ride before you buy on Indy's only test lake. Just Add Water Boats is the oldest boat dealer in Indy and the largest Yamaha boat dealer in the Midwest. Head south 465 on the east side. Take a look at over 400 new and used boats. Make sure you check out their #1 selling boat from Yamaha. Buy now. Take advantage of manufacturer incentives that are going on at this moment online at justaddwaterboats.com. Just Add Water Boats will add just a little more fun to your life. Franciscan Health wants you to beat the odds of getting colon cancer. Learn about colonoscopies at franciscanhealth.org/50. Saturday appointments available.
The Pacers begin their final phase of the season. The home stretch is here, and it's an all-out push to the playoffs. The Pacers have overcome adversity and have proven they belong amongst the top of the Eastern Conference.
He got his own rebound.
Next up, Paul George returns to Bankers Life as OKC comes to town. Tomorrow night at 6:30. Hear every play of every game on your home for the Blue and Gold. FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Those are the voices, Tony, that you hear are the Brickyard Battalion, the official support club for the Indy 11. That's what happens when you hear this sound. It's your cue to call. Check that. It's a cue to go to 1070thefan.com to register for a chance to fan the flag, one of the coolest experiences ever in attending a sporting event. You'll be on the field at Lucas Oil Stadium as a part of the group that includes a bunch of folks waving the giant field-size American flag during the national anthem for the Indy 11's home opener March the 30th. 20 fan listeners daily will be chosen until March the 27th. Winners get a free commemorative event T-shirt, a free game ticket, plus free tickets for up to 3 guests. The Indy 11 here to stay and here to win this season, having added several new high-level players in pursuit of a championship, and they're shooting for the March the 30th home opener to set a new attendance record of over 18,000. But only a couple of hundred are going to be on the field to fan the giant flag. It's your chance right now. Go to 1070thefan.com and enter for the details. 1070thefan.com. Tony's over there. I'm John. Thank you for joining us. My man Diggler writes this, JMV, I didn't mean that the Colts don't need wide receiver help. The Breer tweet just shows you that you don't need stud guys. I don't know. I just wanted somebody equal to or greater than T.Y. That's kind of all I was talking about. Listen, I didn't have any grand illusions about Antonio Brown or Odell Beckham Jr. I just think that you're going to have to stockpile it at wide receiver a little bit more than they did last year. I think that bared out that they did need it last year. Think about it, if not for the production of Dontrell Inman, where this thing might have gone. And the first half of the season was pretty bad when it comes to drops. So I think that it needs to be more of a priority than they think it needs to be. But no, I get it. I do. But I never sat here and thought that, well, all of a sudden, they're going to, pay a high price tag to bring in guys that have been malcontents or issues in the past. I just thought they need somebody to get off the ball and get a little bit of separation where there was none when they played a really good team in Kansas City. Because you're going to have a season where there are going to be a lot of expectations, and you don't want to have to play in Kansas City in the divisional round. You want to be playing Kansas City here in the divisional round. So anyway, that was my thought on that. JMV, who would have thought this? Actress Lori Loughlin has been taken into custody by the FBI. Per law enforcement sources, she is due to appear in federal court in L.A. this afternoon. Yeah. What was her name and secret admirer? Tony? Tony! Remember C. Thomas Howell at the end? Tony!
I do not.
Don't go, Tony!
So
her name was Tony with an I. See, C. Thomas Howell had a admiration for Kelly Preston in tight sweaters. And who didn't, by the way, back then? And then Tony, Lori Loughlin, was his best friend, and she wrote a love letter, and it was all this kind of Three's Company, all this outrageous stuff going on. And then he found out that Tony was his girl all along. Secret admirer update, fans. You're welcome. Coach RD writes this. Hey, didn't the guy who used to run the Colts call you a rat? I don't think Bill Polian called me a rat. He just said I didn't know what I was talking about with that Manning story. And as it turned out, I knew what I was talking about. Yeah, and he elicited the help of many national folks to shoot it down, and I knew what I was talking about. But, yeah, I don't think he called me a rat. I think he called Kravitz a rat. I think Kravitz was the rat. Kravitz was the rat just for being Kravitz. I think I was the dude that didn't know what I was talking about. Which, I mean, it's not like the guy's that wrong.
Yeah, it's a 3 to 6 occurrence every day.
Hey, how wrong was he? I mean, hey, what do they say? Sun shines on a dog's you know what? Every now and then? Is that? Yeah.
And then you pissed that guy off yesterday.
And we don't know who it is. We need to find out who I made mad yesterday so they can call in. See, I'll give credit where credit is due. Dustin Sanders, actually, I called him out and he called in. I like that. So if you ever get mad at something I say, especially if it's pointed at you, then do not hesitate to call in and we'll have it out right here. We'll straighten it all out. They don't need anybody to go away mad. That's why I tell my kids every day, especially Blake, I say, okay, well, you know what? I might be incredibly pissed off at you right now. I mean, you may be just on my you-know-what list right now. But when I take you to school, we're going to go ahead and squash it because we don't end, when we see one another, we don't end that on a bad term. So we always try to practice that. Tony is at 239-1070. Hello, Tony.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Go ahead.
I'd like to end with a Sabonis question for you, but first, sure. I feel we're very fortunate. Neither Beckham, Brown, or Bell ended up in the AFC South because I didn't expect us to get them at all, so that's a good thing.
Sure.
But with Funchess, I want to piggyback. Like, nobody, like you said, expected Ebron to be as great as he was. Let's consider who was throwing to Funchess for the last few years. I've watched Carolina games. Him is not nearly equal to the passing ability of Andrew Luck. So I think some of the drops could be from poorly thrown balls, too, not just his ability. So I think we should expect, like you said, with Reich in the scheme, that he's going to thrive here. He's that big body we need for the...
You still there?
We're going to get any sniff or consideration for sixth man of the year.
Sabonis, he might get a tad bit of love, but Lou Williams has owned that award, it seems like, right? Lou Williams of the Clippers is going to get it. Yeah, he'll get some love. I want to see him get back into form. I mean, he's gassed a lot out there right now, and then rightly so, he missed some time, but you can kind of tell he's not where he once was because of the time he missed due to injury. So,
right.
Yeah,
cool.
Thanks, man. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate
it. With Luck instead of Cam Newton, though?
Here's what I think. Ebron still had drops. You know, it's funny. Ebron made tough catches, but the drops seemed to be like the incredibly easy opportunities, right? He still had some drops, but there was a transformation there. And he didn't point at Matthew Stafford, being certainly less than Luck, but I think you could kind of tell that was the case. That's my expectation for Funchess, too. I think that he's going to have a transformational year just by virtue of the different quarterback, too, and just a different environment altogether.
And Luck and Ebron have a whole offseason together, too, now to get chemistry.
Yeah. So, again, cool. It worked out, man. Tony, thank you for the call. It worked out. That's why That's why when somebody says, well, Funchess and this and Funchess that and 10 mil and 3 mil in incentives, I mean, you just kind of go, well, this is what Ebron did last year, and Ebron was thought of worse than Funchess. It's from David. Secret Admirer was a great movie. Earmuffs for the kids in the back seat right now. I believe, Tony, that Secret Admirer had Kelly Preston naked a lot. Naked a lot. Kelly.
What movie was this?
Kelly Preston was artful back in the day, brother.
Do I need to download this for the flight tomorrow?
Secret Admirer, and here's another one for you too, since we're thinking about it. I can't think of it right now. I'll think of it in a second. There's 2 Kelly Preston classics out there that might be worth the flight.
There's
I don't know though. You don't want to be
you
don't want to be riding on a flight though and have some nudity pop up on your.
No, I don't really care.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I
You don't want to
downloaded-
be that guy. You
It's
don't
just
want to be
gonna be-
sitting next to the dude that's got nudity going on his in-flight movie.
I'm going to know the guy next to me, so it doesn't really
Oh yeah,
matter.
that's still weird
Yeah.
though. You don't want.
Well,
that. You
I
don't
did
be that guy.
download. There's a show on Showtime.
The movie's called Mischief. You can
Yeah,
do Mischief and
yeah.
Secret Admirer right there.
There's a documentary on Showtime right now, and it's like a where are they now and what have they accomplished when it comes to the top porn stars of the 80s and 90s. I think that'd be right up your alley.
Yes, I think I wrote a paper about that in college.
I think you did.
I know I did.
And then the last person that they highlight is, of course, Ron Jeremy.
I think I didn't write a paper about Ron Jeremy in college, but I think I wrote a paper about what you're talking about in college. I think I've mentioned this before. There used to be a video store in Bloomington called Video World in Eastland Plaza. A video store called Video World that had a special section of stars that we know today that had nude rolls prior to. I thought it was genius. I mean, genius. It's like a whole section of before they became stars and their nude rolls. Well done, right? See, that was like before Mr. Skin and all that. It was beautiful. It was. All right, you want to do some tickets right now?
Mr. Skin.
Mr. Skin.
I hate you
Seriously.
sometimes.
I know. Everybody does. All right, let's do Chris Young and Chris Jansen coming to the Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. That is a country show that you will love. A country show that you will love. Chris Young, Chris Jansen. Chris Jansen does Gonna Buy Me a Boat. So the Yeti 110 iced down silver bullets. How about number 7, 239-1070? You guys are going to go on us. I got to thank my friends, too, at Live Nation. Thank you, Kyle, and the lovely Kimmy, and Christian, and Jimmy, and all my friends over there for being awesome partners in this, too. Yes?
Hey, this Tom guy online, too. Let's get to him quickly before the break. I don't want to leave him on hold. Seems like a good. He wants to talk to you. He's in Korea.
Oh, man, Tom Stewart's calling from Korea right now. Hello, Tom. How are you?
Good, sir. I'm all messed up.
Well, so am I. That makes 2 of us.
Spring forward,
yeah.
Fall back, and here we are on Monday when I went to get on your 5 o'clock morning time here in Korea. You're already an hour ahead of me, so if you have the powers to be, please change it all.
I will. We got to get on the same time. We got to get on time that's conducive to your satisfaction in Korea, Tom.
Yes, sir.
That's a must.
Yes, sir.
Where are you in Korea
Yes,
right now?
South Korea, I'm right outside the Osan Air Base.
Man, you are, seriously, if not the best, certainly you are elevated level of the best listeners that we have on this show, and I cannot thank you enough. I can't, seriously. Whenever you get back, would you let me know, because I owe you a ton. I mean, you are a P1 from South Korea, and I cannot thank you enough for that.
No, thank you. Thank you. You and Tony guys are doing awesome. Thank you very much.
Tom,
Every morning I go to work listening. It's awesome.
Tom, you keep in touch, and whenever you get back home, you let us know so we can go out and have steaks, okay?
Will do. St. Elmo's.
We can do it we can do it anywhere. I might even get the big green egg out and do it too. You never know. So, Tom,
Let's
thank
do it,
you, buddy.
brother.
I appreciate that.
All right, thank you.
That is Tom in Seoul, or outside of Seoul, South Korea. He is a badass dude right there, and he listens every day. I'll tell you, we're like the United Nations of radio shows around here. It's beautiful. JMV, it's awesome that Tom can listen in Korea, yet we can't get you north of 465.
Swung on, belted.
Hey, I tell you what, I'll be back with you next.
Vote on your favorite memory of the greatest moments in IHSAA basketball tournament history, and it could get you free stuff as well. Log on and vote now, 1070thefan.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. 2019 is off to a hot start in the purchase market. The homes that are on the market are going fast. There's a reason that all the top realtors choose us as their preferred lender. We close on time, every time, with lower rates and customer service that no one can match. We make our realtors look good. The 5-minute loan approval only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey, Dan Dockich here. When it comes to managing money for retirement, I need someone I can trust. That's why I'm here with Casey Marks of Crown Haven Wealth Advisors.
Dan, I know you appreciate a game plan that you can stick to.
Absolutely true. I want a safe plan.
Dan, we look at all sources of income to create a custom-tailored income floor. That's an income that you'll never outlive. Along with minimizing your taxes, we're going to look at long-term care concerns and insure our clients so that a healthcare scenario never affects your standard of living or family's inheritance. We're going to protect you against creditors by using specific accounts that are creditor protected. Finally, we're going to ensure that your legacy is left intact for your spouse and family.
Get a customized smart money plan handcrafted for your specific goals and needs. Call Casey at 844-896-SAFE. That's 844-896-7233 or go online at crownhaven.com.
Hey, your good friend John here for Connecticut Water, the absolute best water. Great drinking water. Did you know you can put to bed all the water bottles? You can go with this. You can go with one water bottle with the in-home drinking water station that Connecticut offers. There's like a lot of big words and terms to it. I just call it the in-home drinking water station. John, Joe, and Dennis can tell you all about it, too. It is exceptional. One water bottle all the time. If you're thinking about drinking more water, maybe getting rid of some old habits, you know what I mean, as far as hydration is concerned, this is a game changer for you. That and the Premier Series water softener. Yeah, I got it. The Premier Series water softener is a must because, listen, if you have bad water, hard water, you know this, that it affects the taste, the smell, how you launder your clothes, and how you bathe, all that stuff. It does. So get great water with Connecticut on the 2 locations to serve you now. We're talking Northeast Side, Castleton off of I-69, US 31 and Southport Road on the south side. And online for Joe, John, and Dennis right now, it is ConnecticutIndy.com.
Chad and Tyler Peterman for Peterman Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Hey Chad, it's March in Indiana. The big tournament is here, and you know what that means?
That it's Furnace Madness Month at Peterman, where you text FURNACE to 41411 and get a free furnace.
We're taking our free furnace offer into overtime, making March the best month to replace your heating and cooling system and really save.
Purchase a Bryant air conditioning system and get a free Bryant 80% furnace, a free air filter system, and programmable thermostat. You score over $1,500 in savings.
Even free financing for 36 months is available. But don't stall. This is the last month where you can get a free furnace.
Call us at 317-859-4270 or text FURNACE to 41411 to set up your free consultation.
Don't delay. Text FURNACE to 41411 during Furnace Madness Month at Peterman.
Peterman's the way to go.
Hey, business owners. It's Switch and Save days at Comcast Business. Right now, when you switch to the nation's largest gig speed network, you save on fast, reliable internet. Get started with 25 megabit internet and voice for $59.90 per month for a 2-year agreement when you sign up for EcoBill and automatic payment. That's $650 off our regular yearly price. Just one more way we take your business beyond. There's never been a better time to switch to Comcast Business. But hurry, Switch and Save Days ends April 5th. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 4/5/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change.
Do you want another truck or a truck like no other? How about deals on that truck during Ram Truck Month? A truck with an available touchscreen that stretches an entire foot. A truck that has capabilities that don't exist in any other truck in its class, like available air suspension. Heck, Motor Trend's 2019 Truck of the Year truck. Do you want a truck that's not only about towing and hauling and payload capability, but a truck that stretches every ability? It's the all-new Ram 1500. During Ram Truck Month, well-qualified returning FCA lessees get a low-mileage lease on the all-new 2019 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 with a V6 engine for $309 a month for 24 months with $1,974 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. Class based on light-duty pickups. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution at least through Chrysler Capital. Lessee is solely responsible for termination fees. Current lease must end by 3/31/20. 25-cent charge for each mile over 20,000. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 4/1/19.
I received 3 promotions in the first year.
Josh from Indy was a coffee shop supervisor before starting a customer service career at Geico in 2016.
Just a sense of stability made a huge difference. Knowing what I was going to be doing. In my last job, everything was so hectic. You didn't know what was going to happen or what you were going to do. Somebody calls off and your whole day is ruined. But now I know what I'm coming in for. Having a set schedule has been amazing. To know that I have these days off, it's made my personal life a lot more convenient.
Visit geico.job/Indy to apply.
The Pacers host the Oklahoma City Thunder tomorrow evening at 6:30 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
He's dribbling around 10 seconds, 9 seconds. Bobby Clark dribbling 6 seconds. Clark going down, jump, shoots in the circle, scores! Now 1 second, the game's over.
That is awesome right there. That is Hilliard Gates. Hilliard Gates, man, what a great voice of back in the day, too. Hilliard Gates, the 1954 state title game, Milan 32, Muncie Central 30, Bobby Plump of Milan with the game winner right there. The storyline that was developed and the inspiration with the film Hoosiers. Man, that's awesome. The Hilliard Gates, hearing that is just great, too. All right, here's the deal. We got semi-state action coming up this weekend, and I told you earlier this week it is going to be spectacular around the state at the iconic gymnasiums around the state of Indiana, semi-state play, and you can see these guys play now for a heck of a lot less than what you would have to pay to see guys play collegiately and professionally. IHSAA.org, schedules and locations. Seymour, the Hatchet House, Elkhart, Lafayette, all the locations in what should be a spectacular semi-state weekend. $10 get you in the door. And again, schedules, locations right now. IHSAA.org.
The Ride with JMV. Weekdays 3 till 7 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Hey, welcome back. Man, Hilliard Gates, awesome. Absolutely awesome. Hey, anybody over at the IHSAA, when was the last high school finals Hilliard Gates did? Anybody over there know? I know we get a lot of folks at the IHSAA listing every day. Anybody? Love hearing that. I'm telling you, semi-state this weekend is going to be great. I mean, across the board. Think about this. The Hatchet House, I'm assuming that those on the west side and those down in the Grove are all going down there for Cinna Grove and Ben Davis, which should be spectacular. That gym is going to be packed because you got Bloomfield and Bar Reeve. And you will see some buggies parked in the park. You just will. There'll be some buggies parked in the parking lot. Because Montgomery is right down US 50 or a back road or 50 from Washington. So that is going to be a great atmosphere.
He retired as general manager of WKJG TV in 1990.
Okay.
So he was through the 70s and 80s, and he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame in 1969. And in 1977, the Indiana Basketball Coaches Association cited him for his long contributions to Indiana basketball. He passed away in 1996.
He was awesome. Absolutely awesome. JMV at 1070, thefan.com. JMV, Andrew Luck's arm will give Funchess a chance to be a better receiver than in Carolina. I think it's worthy to take a shot by Ballard. Love the show. I don't have anything against it at all. I don't. I think the entire core of wide receivers needs to be better from top to bottom, but I don't have a problem with that. Anyway. Alex Golden asked this. See if I can find it again. Tyreek Evans obviously hasn't worked out for the team. Is it too late in the season to waive him for the remainder of the season and to sign a free agent? I mean, you could certainly do that. And when did they bring in Lance a couple of years ago?
Well,
remember, they were
2 years ago.
I mean, they were just stiff as a board. They bring in Lance and make a late season run, get into the postseason, and then get run out of the postseason by the Cavaliers in 4 consecutive. Playoff P didn't work out there. Remember Playoff P hit the pad? That was not only playoff P, but that was the shooter, C.J. Miles. Oh,
yeah.
The game winner from 16. Oh. Well, he's a shooter. Oh.
He stepped right into that bad
clank.
boy.
Oh.
Wasn't even a clank. He hit the bottom pad.
No, and Paul was mad because he wanted to shoot a fadeaway 25-footer going out of bounds from the hash mark.
March 11th was the last day to use the disabled player exception. Now, April 10th is the last day of the regular season. That's the last day players can sign contracts for 2018-2019. It's the last day two-way contracts can be converted to the standard NBA contracts. April 12th is when playoff rosters are due. That's at 3 o'clock Eastern Time. The NBA postseason gets underway April the 13th. So the 16 teams in the playoffs will have to make sure their rosters are set a day before that. So April the 12th.
Hey, there's the shooter, C.J. Miles. Oh, game winner. Oh.
Brick.
Quick one. Back on the other side, Jeff's going to lead us. We'll get into that. We'll get into a little Stephen Older, John Clayton, the professor as well. I got your chance at REO Speedwagon tickets. We got a lot of conversation, and at Anything Goes after 6. Sit tight.
Guys, erectile dysfunction got you down? The Indianapolis Men's Clinic's all-male staff specializes in treating ED and other sexual health-related issues. Call today for a consultation. 999-9000.
Ready to upgrade your car but afraid you won't get approved or can't afford the payments? Bill Estes Jeep can help. During the Bill Estes Jeep Takeover Sale, you can take over payments on any pre-owned vehicle as low as $88 a month. Demos, repos, and early trade-ins. Vehicles priced as low as $39.95. Bill Estes Jeep, located in beautiful Brownsburg at the hottest corner in Hendricks County.
Not all will have the credit to qualify. Price excludes tax, title, license, government fees, and documentary fee. All advertised vehicles are subject to actual dealer availability. Please check with your dealer for more information. Some vehicles offered for sale may be subject to unrepaired manufacturer safety recalls.
Chris Young, live, Raised on Country Tour. I was raised on country. Saturday, July 13th, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Chris Young, hit after amazing hit, with special guests Chris Jansen and Low Cash. Reserve seat tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Chris Young, Raised on Country Tour, part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Speed and power. Incredible accuracy. This trophy is not given, it must be earned. The NCAA Division II Men's and Women's Swimming and Diving Championships. March 13th through 16th at the IU Natatorium in Indianapolis. Visit ncaa.com/tickets and secure your seats today.
Hey, John, for Diamonds Direct, I am the best example of all time of how not to do it the right way. Of course, 2019 is your year of engagement. You're thinking about what you should do, how you should handle it. I know there are a lot of thoughts there. First off, make sure you do it right, because if you don't, you will hear about it for the rest of your life. It's just the way that it is. Listen, I'm the best advice giver out there because I didn't handle it well. I'm still trying to make up for that bad boy. Don't be like me. Do it the right way right now with Diamonds Direct. Talk to Brad about what they have to offer. I'm telling you what, their selection is absolutely unmatched. Their guarantees, their price tag, the overall quality is unmatched. unmatched. So you don't have to go to all these different places around central Indiana or even further out to find exactly what you need for that incredibly special moment in your life, and one that is going to last forever. All it needs is a trip to Diamonds Direct. Now, tell them I sent you. Say, Brad, I'm in here for JMV. What can you do for me at an important time? And let Brad and the staff go to work for you. Unmatched on every level, it is Diamonds Direct. Keystone at the Crossing, the official jeweler of the Colts.
They're the three sweetest words a sports fan can utter.
I was there.
Like when Luke Zeller dreamed that miracle buzzer beater from center court to win the state championship.
I was there.
Indiana high school basketball. There's only one way to experience the passion, the intensity, the surges in momentum, the shots heard round the state, and the shots made from way, way, way downtown.
Luke Zeller at midcourt. Puts it up at the buzzer.
And that's to be there, live. The IHSAA Boys Basketball Tournament. When the whistle blows, the drama unfolds. And we're reminded one more time what a great state we live in. Where will you be?
I'll be there. We'll all be there.
The IHSAA Boys Basketball Tournament. 8 semi-state winners will be crowned this Saturday. The IHSAA Boys and Girls Basketball Tournaments are presented by the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever.
Chronic headaches, constant sinus infections, pain and pressure. The fatigue was overwhelming.
That's Karen. She suffered for years with chronic sinus infections. She'd go to urgent care, see her doctor.
And we would do the same thing. Steroids, antibiotics, nasal sprays.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of Indianapolis Sinus Center called balloon sinuplasty.
Now my sinus cavities are open. You can breathe on a constant basis and not get sinus infections. I don't get headaches anymore. I don't take naps anymore. I'm like, oh, this is miraculous.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure? Is it difficult to breathe through your nose? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with the Indianapolis Sinus Center. Call 317-528-9650. 317-528-9650. That's 317-528-9650.
Hey Indy 11 fans, Coach Rennie here. Opening night tickets for March 30th are on sale now. Go to indy11.com or call 317-685-1100 to reserve your seat today.
Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BV, W228CX, Indianapolis. The Ride with JMV.
Down the bullish sprint.
FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Somebody check my brain. One of the teams in the semi-state, Bar Reeves, getting a new gymnasium. I like the old gymnasium.
Is a barn attached to it?
No, I love Montgomery, Indiana. That is pretty awesome right there. Good looking. Jeff Doyle is the principal down at Bar Reeve. He's a friend of mine. Just a great dude. Just dominating basketball program from the South.
I dated girls from both Bar Reeve and Lagodi.
Did you really?
When I was at Vincennes. Meredith from Lagodi.
You dated Meredith from Lagodi.
Should have married her, but I was in college and didn't know what the hell I was doing.
What's she? Have you tracked her down recently?
No, I have not.
So how do you know?
I mean, she was cool then. I'm guessing she's cool now.
Staying cool. All right, I got you.
Very nice lady from Lagodi.
Meredith from Lagodi. Anybody
Class
know
of 06 or 07?
Meredith from Lagodi. We need a Meredith from Lagodi update. What happened? Did the relationship just stagger at some point?
Oh, no, I'm an idiot. Yeah. I mean, come on.
Goes without saying. Yeah. Okay.
It was college, John. I mean, you know how it was. I was like a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught one.
From C Money. JMV, you're doing a really good job today. What kind of drugs are you on?
Granola bars.
I didn't take any drugs today.
Granola bars and Milo sweet tea.
Hey, it depends on what day we're talking about. All right? This is what, Wednesday? So, yeah. It's drug-free Wednesday, C-Money, right now for me. No, this is like some dude the other day said, you know what, you're getting near 50 and you're stiff. I said, yeah, okay. Yeah, old and stiff is, you know what, there's one thing that you cannot describe me as. There are a lot of things you can, but one thing you can is old and stiff. No way. None. And I'm going to be this way until I'm no longer here. Much like Wade Garrett said in Roadhouse, I'll get enough sleep when I'm dead, me-o. JMV, I'm sitting here, last 15 minutes of work, watching the prom scene of the BMX movie Rad with Lori Loughlin freestyling, cracking up the amount of cheese being displayed. But back then, I think I watched it about 540 times. Yeah. Send Me an Angel from Real Life is in that soundtrack. And by the way, if you're wanting a really good prom scene, Just One of the Guys. End prom scene. And thank me later for that.
You know, we were talking yesterday about going to see Puddle of Mud.
Yeah.
Have you
I was really talking about going to that. Yeah.
Have you seen the Fox 59's latest post? A menace to Johnson County. Man arrested 7 times in 6 months. And so they have 8 different mugshots of this guy, and it looks like he would be the guy front row at the Puddle of Mud show. Have you seen this?
Where's he been a menace in Johnson County? Around me? I haven't seen the menace to Joe.
He's a 37-year-old man. He's been arrested 7 times in 6 months, including twice within 3 days. Records show he's been arrested nearly 30 times in 17 years.
Wow.
He was arrested on suspicion of stealing a car off of Gray Street in Greenwood.
Wow.
Yikes.
This guy's a menace to society.
Car break-ins.
Is his name Stephen Wagers?
Yep.
Arrested 7 times in 6 months. Twice within 3 days. My man's trying to set a record up here or something. 30 times over the last 30 times in 17 years. Good Lord. Look at some of these mugshots, though. It looks like an album cover.
He stands the test of time.
How you doing? You think these pictures are on his Facebook page? My man's smiling in some of these. Listen. It looks like he got a younger one here, and then he's aged a little bit, though, right? Look at the one up here where he's smiling. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. I'll get back to your calls in a second. From The Athletic, I think he might be a little bit under the weather. Our friend Stephen Holder joins us. You feeling up to it today?
We're gonna push through. Yeah, I mean, luckily the Colts are doing me a solid and keeping quiet.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's a similar path to what we saw a year ago. So I'm assuming when, it's almost like trading places. I guess when that market value gets down to a certain level, they're going to start to buy in a little bit. I mean, is that kind of like what we saw a year ago? I mean, there's still some more to come by virtue of the free agent open market here?
Oh, absolutely. I've been told in no uncertain terms from my sources that they're going to make some moves here. Over the next week, you're going to see – I don't know how to characterize it necessarily. I'm not going to put a number and say it's going to be plentiful, but there will be some notable moves here. So they're poised to jump on some guys, and I think we just got to remember today is literally the first day of free agency. I mean, I know what's going on around the league. I mean, I'm watching the Antonio Brown press conference right now, right?
Yeah.
So, look, there's been huge moves around the league. The AFC has gotten incredibly more interesting, I think, in the last couple of days. So that's a factor for the Colts. But they're not going to waver. The one thing I'll say about Chris Ballard and his staff, and you can like this or hate this, but you don't ever have to wonder. The one thing I'd say is they are driven by principles, man. And listen, Bill Polian was the same way. And I think, we can quibble about him. We can quibble with how many Super Bowls he won. But, I mean, the man won a lot of football games, right? So I think that's the bottom line. I mean, they are driven by their principles, and they're not going to waver just because other teams pull the trigger and maybe make a move that's out of character and that kind of thing. So and I admire that to some extent because it's hard, man. They hear what the fans are saying, and they know what's going on around the league, and they say, you know what, we're going to stay the course. So I give them credit at least for having the toughness to go through with it.
Do you think that they're done at wide receiver right now, other than going to the draft and maybe securing one at some point in the draft? Is Funchess going to mean free agent market wise that they're essentially done, or do you think there's more to come there?
Well, it's just based on who's out there. I don't see guys who you would, sort of marry yourself to long term. You know what I mean? Maybe they sign another 1-year guy. I don't know who that would be. Nothing on that list of free agent receivers knocks my socks off right now. So therefore, I mean, are you going to commit to a long-term deal for any of those guys? I mean, do you see a guy out there you just have to have? I don't think so. So to answer your question, I think at this point, my guess is they lean a little more on the draft. And I would say this too. I don't know how good they are at receiver. I'm not saying they're very strong at that position, but it is going to be a tough spot to make the roster right now. I mean, when you think about who's coming back, I mean, there's a lot of mid-level guys, and you can feel about that however you want. But they feel like there's a lot of competition there. I would agree. I mean, Devin Funchess is not going to be sort of gifted anything. I mean, he's got to come in here and earn his snaps. Look, you got Deon Cain. I am not putting a lot of stock in that coming off an ACL, but what if that guy takes off? They've got obviously Chester Rogers, Marcus Johnson, guys they like and who are still developing, who's really, really young. It ain't sexy, man. I get it. But the one thing I would tell you is that Andrew Luck has gotten a lot out of less over the years.
Yeah, I will say this though.
I'm not defending it. I don't think they're good. I don't think it's, and they know it.
Yeah,
they know it. I mean, they just paid $10 million for Devin Funchess, man. They know it. So I'm not defending it. I'm just telling you that it is a competitive spot. The problem is they don't have. Remember that conversation they had at the combine about dogs? I think that was Frank Reich. They only got one dog. They still only have one dog, and it's T.Y. Hilton.
I just, man, that game against a really good team in Kansas City where they want to be, they need more dogs. I mean, I said the same thing to him, though, at the combine. And, Steven, the one thing, and you know this because you're around them all the time, they are secure in the fact that they can bring people in here and they can get into this system and they're going to make them a lot better. And they don't need to go out and get those higher dollar dogs. I can't get away from that fact. And the other thing too, Stephen, before you give me your answer on this, is we went through a large part of that season being accurate about the lack of wide receiving talent and depth. And Dontrell Inman came in and really kind of saved things in that category for them. And then, I mean, let's face it, once they got on that win streak, people just kind of lost sight of what they really needed in the whole euphoria of a win streak and this team being back this past year. I just think the expectations are going to be so high that I don't think you can go into this season in similar fashion at that position as you did a year ago, or feeling kind of like you did a year ago. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I mean, I do think they're going to invest in draft capital. I mean, they've got the first pick, and then they got, was it number 33, I believe, so 34. So, I mean, they've got, in essence, 2 first-rounders. I mean, I don't know that there's a guy there worthy, or that there will be a guy there worthy of that pick. But I will say this, the defensive talent in this draft, who some people at the Combine would tell you is just a historic level of talent, those guys are going to push the offensive players down, I really believe. And so that does, I think, bode well for the Colts, at least if in terms of having options at receiver in the draft. The other thing I'd say is, for instance, the Kansas City game, where I think that game was lost even more so than at receiver out on the edge was at the point of attack. They lost the line of scrimmage on both sides that day, and that was immensely disappointing because that's the strength of their team. So I think it's a different game if they man up and they bring it up front. But be that as it may, look, they got issues at wide receiver. I would like to see it in and brought back. That's, I think, a smart move.
Do you think it'll happen?
I think it's a good shot. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to cost you a whole lot. I think it's prudent for him at 30 years old to go out there and kind of see what's available to him. And that's what's happening now. But he's got to try to maximize his earnings. He's not a guy who's a young guy, but at the same time, I think he's got more value to the Colts than I think most other teams. Just when you factor in the relationship with Reich and Nick Sirianni and how Andrew Luck really, I think, embraced him. Did you notice how Andrew Luck just totally trusted Dontrell Inman from day one? That does not always happen. You have to earn Andrew Luck's trust. And Dontrell Inman did that surprisingly quickly. And I think that speaks to just his savvy and his understanding of the game.
Stephen Holder of the Athletics on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Do you know if the Colts might have been in on any of these higher name, higher dollar guys? And where were they as far as depth-wise with Landon Collins? Were they anywhere on the radar?
Well, they were on the radar. I mean, they were certainly in it, and they gave him a number. And, I don't know what that number was, but it was characterized to me, by my source, as being substantially lower than what he ultimately got. And, I mean, that shouldn't surprise anybody. I think when you think about the safety position, that's a position where I think not everybody's willing to invest big money at that position. I think it's an important position in this defense, but I also still think they wanted to be prudent. The other thing I say about Landon Collins is there was a little bit of a sense. I'm not telling you my opinion. I'm just giving you the organization's opinion. They didn't see him as really a complete player, not the kind of complete player you'd like to have if he's going to make that kind of money. He's a box safety, and he has a lot of questions in coverage. So you've heard that take. It's out there, and it's true. So I think that was the deal on him. As it relates to other guys, they talked to Preston Smith. I thought that might have been a nice fit. He's going to Green Bay. He'll do fine there, I think, in that defense. But, they definitely talked a couple of safeties, and that's very interesting to me. I think Amos and certainly Landon Collins. So safety is a position I don't think they're done at. I think they draft a safety as well.
Stephen Holder's with us. Would they have any interest in Eric Berry?
I think that I think they'd have to look into that. Yeah, don't you? I mean, I think when you talk about the kind of guy that Frank Reich and Chris Ballard say they want in that locker room, I mean, is there a guy who fits that mold better than Eric Berry? Scheme-wise, I'd have to figure out. I'd have to look a little closer and see whether he fits as a high safety or a box safety. You could probably do it all, I think. But certainly in terms of the character and the makeup, oh man, he's off the charts. Obviously, Chris Ballard knows him intimately from being in Kansas City, so we'll see how that plays out. I don't know where that stands at the moment, but Kansas City, it's interesting. They're coming off a great year, but they're having a little bit of a fire sale here.
A complete makeover there.
That has the potential, I think, to really blow up. I mean, look, they still got what looks like the guy who's going to rule the NFL for the next 10 years is Pat Mahomes. Okay, so let's not get crazy, but sometimes it takes a while when you retool everything like that. It doesn't just hit the ground running all the time. So I think this is a very interesting approach they're taking. Oh, and then that's another guy I got asked about. He obviously got traded to San Francisco. I don't think they were really deep in those conversations, and they're just not really particularly interested in trading off draft picks right now.
Yeah, and the thing about Kansas City is, I guess I didn't think that Bob Sutton and what he did was that bad, they just swept everything out of there.
Yeah, their numbers were skewed too last year. I mean, look, did they have issues? Oh, hell yeah. But at the same time, you're scoring 40 points a game or something. You know what I mean? So, you're on your heels all day long playing in that defense when you've got the kind of offense they had last year. So I don't think anything statistically from Kansas City really tells you very much because it just doesn't matter. Those are completely skewed numbers. But again, they have issues. But
what about Justin Houston?
Huge makeover.
Justin Houston's another guy that's kind of flying out there too. Any interest there from the Colts?
Yeah, I mean, older. So that kind of goes against the Colts' MO. I think the other issue there is the Kansas City guys are a little bit more of 3-4 guys, and that was also a factor with D Ford too. So you'd have to really be convinced that he can make that switch. Look, other guys have done it. Certainly Jamal Sheard did it and has been pretty effective. But if you're going to pay a guy huge money, and it's probably going to cost you more than Jamal Sheard, probably significantly more, then you better be sure about that. So that's not a slam dunk in my opinion. But we'll see. It's early. So, I mean, I do think someone – remember now, no players have even taken visits yet. So
yeah.
I think those are just getting lined up now. You're going to see a bunch of visits here around the league over the next several days. And once you get that initial rush, at that point, you take your time because there's really, there's no reason to rush into anything at this point. So I think you'll see some visits and probably even here in Indianapolis.
Pierre Desir, did he get about – I did too. I like the fact they are bringing him back. Did they get pretty good value contract-wise with him and bring him back?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think in this market with the cornerbacks who were available, and it was pretty skinny, I think to get him at, $7-8 million a year, that's a win, yes. And I think the other thing there is, and I wrote this in The Athletic last night, I really felt this was a little bit of a test for Chris Ballard, okay? He has talked about sort of rewarding his own guys, and they've done it, okay, with Lewinsky. They did it with Marcus Hunt. Obviously, Vinatieri, that was a no-brainer. But I was wanting to see if that would hold true here with Pierre Desir, and sure enough, they got it done. I heard it was close. I heard he was close to signing somewhere last night, is what I was told. And boom, this morning the deal gets done. So I think that made a lot of sense for everybody. He did talk to quite a few teams, and I got to think that perhaps the guaranteed money isn't as high. I'm speculating, but I'm guessing that might have been the difference. I think he got $12 million guaranteed, if I'm not mistaken. So, look, for a guy who was, sort of 2 years ago was a waiver pickup here and played for $1,075,000 last year. I mean, you got to be happy for Pierre Desir.
Yeah, Stephen Holder of The Athletics with us. Before I let you go here, what do you think about the moves that have been made to this point in the rest of the AFC South, beginning with finally getting a quarterback in Nick Foles, yet there's a great deal of unknown because he's had moments in Philly but also had some bad moments, I mean, really across the board. Do you like that move, and what else has been done within the division?
Well, I like anything other than Blake Bortles, so from that respect, I do like the move. But you're right. I mean, look, he's got a lot to prove. I mean, what are his skill positions going to look like, right? I mean, that's going to be different. What the scheme is different. A lot of things, right? So they've got to put that running game back together, and I think take the heat off of Foles. That would certainly help, and they've got to prove they can do that. I think that got a little bit off track last year, but I think they've still got the potential to do it. So that's one thing. And again, this is going to be a situation where he's not sort of subbing in now. I mean, it's his show, and it's all on his shoulders. And when he's been the guy in the past, the results have been extremely mixed for Nick Foles. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in Houston. Elsewhere, they've got to deal with Clowney. Though I assume they'll get that done. He's been franchised, and Tennessee's made a couple moves too. Tennessee,
Roger Saffold being one, yeah.
So I mean, hey, look, man.
You think Cam Wake has anything left? He signed a deal on the defensive side in Tennessee.
He's not the same guy. He's clearly not the same guy, and I think if you're the Dolphins, I understand that move, right? I mean, you are completely rebuilding, and you got to do that with youth. So I think if you bring Cam Wake in here, I'm not saying it wouldn't breed some results. It could, but I think the Colts' position on that would be, all right, well, this guy's probably going to take away snaps from our young guys who are ascending, and at the same time, maybe not be that productive. So, you got to understand the question the Colts would ask themselves is, what's the cost and what's the reward for bringing in a guy like that? It has a cost, to your younger player. So we'll see. And I assume they'll draft another defensive lineman as well this year.
All right, we'll see if they end up bringing in Eric Berry too. That'd be kind of interesting to me. See what his price tag might be.
I could go for that.
Yeah, I could too. What is he, 30? I think, is that his age?
I got to look. It's somewhere in that ballpark. Excuse me. Look, I thought the success they had with Mike Mitchell last year was really telling.
Agreed.
It's a stabilizing force. So look, I love me some Clayton Gathers, but that's a tough one, and I think the Colts are struggling a little bit with that decision. He's got to stay healthy.
He's manned up. Gotten through the illness here on the interview, and I appreciate it from The Athletic. You can check out all his work. He is Stephen Holder on the Eddie Moore Automotive Group hotline. Well done.
All right, my man. Appreciate it.
All right, get better. We'll talk to you soon. Stephen Holder on the Eddie Moore Automotive Group hotline. Now, thumbs up, thumbs down, Eric Berry. 30 years old, released today. What do you guys think? Take a shot. 5-time Pro Bowler. 239-1070. We'll play off of that. We'll talk to John Clayton. A little bit more of a wider scope around the NFL and free agency, and certainly a little bit of what's going on in Cleveland and what John Dorsey is trying to do to this point there. John Clayton, the professor, coming up at 5:30. It is Anything Goes. My way, your way, anything goes. The most unfiltered radio segment in the history of Indianapolis again fires up at 6. Tony, you out of here right now?
Yes,
This it?
John.
All right, Tony's not going to
bud.
be here for how long? A month?
Yeah, well, I'm go to Vegas tomorrow through Monday morning, and then we're driving to Phoenix. Going to see our boy Tucker Barnhart next Tuesday, play a little spring training. I come back Wednesday night, and then I think I'll be with you Thursday on location, and then we've got those Bud Light, Evan Williams Papa Shots I'm going to be at. So
Turn it up over there.
I'll be
Turn
working.
it up.
It'll be good times.
This is goodbye, Tony.
Are you going to miss me?
It's Night Ranger.
Will you miss me, Sean?
It's going to be sad. You're not going to be here.
People can tweet me if they want. I'll be out in
somebody
Vegas.
now will answer the phone for sure. Turn this up.
Should just went straight to break on that one.
Have a great time
Somebody
in Vegas.
answer the phone so they could sit on hold for 40 minutes.
Tell man with two brains and Tucker Barnhart we said hello out there.
Will
all right?
do. Got any sure bets for me? Got any larceny locks for me, John Boy?
Well, Gonzaga's going to the Final Four after last night. That's a Final Four team now.
Okay.
Absolutely. The Final Four team for sure after last night. Tony, have a great vacation. Turn it up. This is for Tony as he leaves.
Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. It's always our goal to make lives better for the good people of Indianapolis. That includes helping children in need. That's why we'll donate $100 to the Riley Hospital for Children for every new HVAC system we install. Call today and bring comfort to your home and to our kids.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms, conditions, and tax may apply. Offer valid February 1st through March 31st. License H0010668.
Hubler has it, savings. Hubler has it, choices. Hubler has it all.
Indiana's Auto Giant is changing car buying forever. Introducing a warranty so huge, you can drive around the world 8 times and still be covered. It's Hubler Auto Group's massive 10-year, 200,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Shop any new vehicle at all Hubler locations with the warranty included. Chevys, Buicks, GMCs, and Fords. The warranty's included. Acuras, Hondas, Nissans, and Mazdas. The warranty's included. The Hubler family has helped Hoosiers for 60 years, and we're not stopping now. Visit drivehubler.com for the perfect car and our 10-year, 200,000-mile warranty. As Indiana's Auto Giant, Hubler has it all. Why buy anywhere else? You're invited to Hubler. Click drivehubler.com.
Hubler has it all.
Warranty available on new vehicles, except certain models, not transferable or available on leases. A copy of the warranty is available for review at the dealership.
Hey, business owners. It's Switch and Save Days at Comcast Business. Right now, when you switch to the nation's largest gig speed network, you save on fast, reliable internet. Get started with 25 megabit internet and voice for $59.90 per month for a 2-year agreement when you sign up for EcoBill and automatic payment. That's $650 off our regular yearly price. Just one more way we take your business beyond. There's never been a better time to switch to Comcast Business. But hurry, Switch and Save Days ends April 5th. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 4/5/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change.
At Shane Company, we make shopping for an engagement ring stress-free and easy. I'm Rorden Shane, 4th-generation jeweler.
And I'm Tanner.
For years, Tanner's been helping our customers find the perfect engagement ring.
At Shane Company, we do everything we can to make it easy. Whether you have an idea of what she's looking for, or you have no idea, we're here to help. If you know what kind of ring she wants and you come in with some inspiration, like a picture, great. Or if you know the diamond shape she wants, we'll start by looking at stones. With the largest selection of rings, diamonds, rubies, and sapphires, it'll be easy to find a ring she'll love. If you're unsure of what to get, we can chat about her style and personality. What's she like? What's her job? Then we can show you rings that would be perfect for her. When you propose, you can be sure that moment will be everything she's always dreamed of.
Come to Shane Company, Indiana's friendliest jeweler. We make finding the perfect engagement ring fun and easy.
Now you have a friend in the diamond business. Shane Company and shaneco.com.
Hey, John here for a spectacular place. I got to thank Tony. Not Tony Donahue, but Tony at the Four Winds. I'm telling you, Four Winds Lakeside in a marina down in Monroe County is awesome. So think about this for a moment. Any time of year for a relaxing and affordable staycation. You don't have to go all over the country and do this and do that. You got something great in your backyard. I talk about it all the time, and I love talking about it with Tony right now. Visit the Four Winds Lakeside in a marina, beautiful Lake Monroe, Fairfax State Recreational Area. Four Winds features beautiful guest rooms, many with fantastic views, indoor, outdoor heated pool, mini golf, hiking, a private beach, and boat rentals. We're going to have one incredible party down there this summer, too. We're going to have a backyard bourbon broadcast blowout down there at some point. Details coming on that, but right now, book a 3-night midweek staycation for just $249. A perfect getaway at the Four Winds Lakeside Inn and Marina. Online, fourwindslakeside.com or 812-824-BOAT. 812-824-BOAT. Four Winds Lakeside Inn and Marina. One of my all-time favorite places. I love it. You will too. Tell them JMV sent you.
Islanders in the Caribbean like to say that if you don't like the weather, wait 10 minutes. Hi, I'm Rick Edelman, and that's great advice for the stock market, too. It's easy to get upset when the market falls, but what we have to remember is that this too shall pass. Now, that's easy to say, but sometimes it can feel hard to do. So in times like these, when stock prices are swinging wildly one day to the next, making you worry that your financial future might be at risk, here's the advice you need. Don't feel that you have to go it alone. I invite you to talk with one of my experienced financial planners at Edelman Financial Engines. Let's take a look at your investments and see if they're doing what you need and expect. We'll either reassure you that you're doing what you should be doing, or we'll give you recommendations to help you get the peace of mind you need so you can, well, wait for the sun to shine once again. Call us at 888-PLAN-RIC. That's 888-PLAN-RIC. Or visit us at rickedelman.com. That's ricedelman.com.
Hey there, it's Stan Dockage. I'm a diehard Pacer fan, and when it comes to choosing a bank, I chose Key Bank, the official banking home of the Indiana Pacers. They've always got their eye on the financial ball to make sure I'm making progress every play. Key Bank, use the red key. Key Bank is member FDIC. Franciscan Health wants you to beat the odds of getting colon cancer. Learn about colonoscopies at franciscanhealth.org/50. Saturday appointments available.
The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
All right, I'm John. Tony's going to Hinkle. He's representing Teachers Treasures. I love you, teachers. Love you, teachers. Some of you administrators suck, but I love you, teachers. Love you. Teachers Treasures. Teachers Treasures always walks with me, too. We try to raise so much money for them with the JMV Sucks golf outing, with everything we do, and then we end up giving it back and helping out. We gave away, Perry Township gave away 500-plus backpacks at the beginning of the school year. I mean, just such great things with Margaret and the gang at Teachers Treasures. Tony's representing them. He's playing Celebrity Horse at Hinkle. The winner gets $500. And then Tony's got to win that so Margaret and Teachers Treasures can benefit. And then Tony's off to vacation. Brad Huber's in here, and if Brad screws something up, We're going to send him on vacation, too. I'm just joking. Everything's good, brother. Everything's good. Good. Everybody panic.
Bye, John.
See ya. Tony's leaving right now.
Bye, guys.
See ya. All right, now it's up to you. Andy Moore, Automotive Group Hotline. My man is staying busy in the Pacific Northwest and really all around the nation right now. NFL free agency tracker, the Professor John Clayton, joins us. What do you think of all that has gone down with John Dorsey in Cleveland to this point, John?
I think Cleveland looks brilliant. I think right now they've moved themselves in a position to be the number one team in the AFC North, because when you think about, here's the Baltimore Ravens. They lose 4 players on defense in free agency. They are making adjustments on the offensive line. They're going to a running second-year quarterback, and so they're not going to be they're not going to be formidable. They'll be okay. And then you've got the Steelers without Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown. But now you look at what the Browns did, and this trade is just incredible. Think about the reality, because being able to get Beckham back or in this trade, and they get Odell Beckham Jr., a pass rusher in Olivier Vernon, and, of course, they only have to give up a guard in Kevin Zeitler, who's a good guard, but you give up a guard, a first-round pick, and a third-round pick. That's a steal. And then you think about it from the Giants' perspective, they didn't put the franchise tag on Landon Collins, and so basically they're losing 3 Pro Bowl players, and they're getting 3 pieces in return, the 17th pick in the draft, the 95th pick, and Kevin Zeitler. I don't think that's equal.
Do you understand Gettleman's path, by the way, with the Giants?
Yeah, it's kind of like the same path that he had at Carolina, where it's like he takes it to the point where he doesn't like to have all these many high-priced players. Like if you remember, they were negotiating after putting the franchise tag on Josh Norman, and Josh Norman was saying, "Hey, I want $15 million. I'm a $15 million cornerback." And so he goes, "Oh, we can't pay that. We'll give you 12." And the next thing you know, they go into May and they let him go, and he signs for $15 million to go with the Washington Redskins. And so he's an old school guy. He's a guy that he knows his football stuff, no question about it, and he's got a good scouting eye. He's a guy that likes to run the football, have a big offensive line, and then try to make do with some lesser paid players on defense, but that got him in trouble. It cost him a job in Carolina, and you got to think right now that's got to have him in a real tough spot with the Giants, because the Giants, they were a bad team last year, and I think as somebody phrased them, they look like an expansion team with a 38-year-old quarterback and Eli Manning.
John Clayton, the Professor, he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group Hotline as we go around the NFL and the, again, early stages of NFL free agency. So what's going to work out better, diva wide receiver-wise, with Beckham in Cleveland or Brown with the Raiders?
I think Beckham in Cleveland, because the Raiders aren't going to be that good next year, and so that means that you got and particularly if they trade Derek Carr, now you may have a rookie quarterback like Tyler Murray throwing to Antonio Brown, and he'll get below 100 catches. That could be very scary. But look at the positive things going on. You've got Baker Mayfield, who's going to be working pretty well with him. You've got the combination of Jarvis Landry, who went to LSU. You have Odell Beckham Jr., who went to LSU. And guess where the wide receiver coach came from? LSU.
Yeah,
so
sounds familiar.
Yeah, so he's got family there, and so that, I think, makes it a little bit easier. Mayfield's going to be a fun quarterback for him to deal with. So I see nothing but positive things.
Besides what Cleveland has done, who else sticks out as far as in free agency to this point making themselves better, John?
Well, I like what Buffalo's doing because they're really attacking it, but they're not overpaying. Okay, so they get 2 wide receivers, a fast one in John Brown. Then they were able to get a good slot guy in Cole Beasley. They got 4 additions on the offensive line, and so that's the thing that baffles me on some of these things in free agency. Sometimes you need to do volume. And it's not like they did great things, but again, they go out and they get 4 guys on the offensive line where Houston, who has the worst offensive line, Buffalo is pretty much second. Houston hasn't done anything on the offensive line. So I give them credit, and then they're getting defensive pieces. They got Kevin Johnson out of Houston, so I like them. I think they overpriced themselves with the New York Jets, certainly I don't think I've ever seen an inside linebacker being paid like an edge pass rusher when they go to $17.5 million for C.J. Mosley. That I thought was a little bit expensive. I thought that they got a pretty good deal on Le'Veon Bell because they waited him out and beat him down and got him in, the third highest paid running back. They didn't even get him to $15 million. They did a good job there. I think they got a decent wide receiver in Jamison Crowder, so I think they've done a good job.
So John Clayton with us. Devin Funchess is going to join the show for the first time tomorrow. What do you think the Colts got in the former Carolina wide receiver?
Well, they got he doesn't have great separation, but he kind of get a go up and get him type of guy, and a big target on the one side, and so that's I think the unique part. Now, the one thing I think we all see in what Chris Ballard does, he's not going to pay the best, the highest price. He's going to be, particularly, he doesn't like free agency as much as other general managers, and that's smart because what happens, because he's trying to build something in Indianapolis. And I just went through the 2016 free agent class, and just roughly off the top of my head, now remember, this is the third year into that free agency class, 32 of the 49 top-paid players are gone. So think about that. Yeah. How do you build in free agency? And, Chris Ballard's not trying to build for 2 years. He's trying to build for 4 to 5 years. And so if you overpay, you end up paying a price for that because then you get dead money against the cap. It prevents you from trying to keep your own players. And so in Funchess, the one thing that was unique for him in this free agent class, because it's not a great receiver free agent class, is the fact that he's a tall outside guy. And that helps because most of the other guys like Golden Tate and that, they're more slot guys. And, they've got inside stuff with T.Y. Hilton. So, no, I think it's a good fit. And, again, I think they got him at a decent price. Maybe $10 million was a little bit high, but still, that's maybe $1 million higher than I thought. But, again, I think that's a good signing.
So the Chiefs just released Eric Berry. They have a complete defensive makeover. Was Bob Sutton's scheme and everything so bad, players so bad? No, they're going 3-4 to 4-3 with Steve Spagnuolo right now. But does the overall complete makeover of this defense kind of surprise you at all?
Yeah, because what I don't understand, because, it cost them a chance to go to the Super Bowl last year because their defense was so bad. But the one thing that they had was a pass rush because they were up there among the leaders in sacks, and that's because they had 3 pass rushers. Chris Jones, who's still there on the defensive line, a defensive tackle, and then they had Justin Houston, and then they had Dee Ford. Well, they cut Houston. They traded Ford. It's for, believe it or not, a second-round pick next year, not even this year. And you're going, where's that coming from? So it's like that surprised me. So overall, I'm just kind of stunned at what they're doing because, they let their best cornerback, Steve Nelson, go. Now Eric Berry's being replaced by Tyrann Mathieu, which I think was a good signing, a little expensive, but a good signing. But no, it's like, defense was their problem, and now it's a bigger problem.
You think Eric Berry could fit here in Indy?
If he's healthy, yeah. Because he's a great player. He's a great player and a great person, and he's a great leader. And particularly with all the youth that's there on defense, I think that could be a good fit. It just depends on the price. And, again, his health, because he hasn't been healthy for the last 2 to 3 years. But, no, I think he could be a good fit.
All right, John, we talked about those that are doing something right now that are active. Anybody surprise you with their level of inactivity to this point?
Houston's made 2 moves, but basically just kind of replacement type of things. They lose Matthews and they lose Kareem Jackson, and they haven't done anything on the offensive line. So I think I'm a little surprised Houston hasn't been as active as possible. Most of the other teams, I think, are kind of going the way they are. If you're Dallas, and again, you're waiting for this first wave to get done. Seattle's waiting for the first wave to get done. So I think most of the teams that understand that if you get heavy into free agency, you're going to make more mistakes and have to correct them in 2 years than you have successes. But no, I think that overall it's kind of going to form.
Yeah, Le'Veon Bell, does he return to form after missing a year, or is it going to be struggle from here on out?
I wonder. I think it depends on where his mindset is, and you can see, number one, he screwed himself up as far as trying to do the negotiations because he lost $14.5 million thinking that he'll come out of this healthy, he'll be able to get into free agency. Then he found out that hardly anybody wanted him. They didn't trust him. They thought that he missed a year, and so it was window shopping more than anything else, and the Jets were the main team. Baltimore was window shopping, San Francisco was window shopping, Oakland was window shopping, but he thought he was going to have a strong market, and he didn't, and that's why he ended up having to take 13-4 as opposed to 15 or 16. So he thought he was going to come out as the highest paid running back, and he was the highest paid running back last year, with the 14.55, but he fumbled by not taking it.
Yeah, Man, John Clayton, the professor, getting us updated on everything around NFL free agency with still more to come, and he's on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. You are always awesome. Thanks for being on point once again. I'm sure we'll check in midway through and toward the end to see what's going on.
Okay, sounds good.
It's John Clayton on the Andy Moore Automotive Group hotline. Quick break. We'll come back for a final time. We'll see if Brad can get us there, pressing all the right buttons, and this is going to be Brad's first time doing My Way, Your Way, Anything Goes. Again, the most unfiltered segment of the history of indie radio. You don't even get checked in. You call at 239-1070 after 6 when we're on. And, well, as Guns N' Roses did sing, anything goes. That's coming up at the top of the hour. Back with you next.
When diamond expert Michael Clavenna worked at an ordinary jewelry retailer, he thought he was giving his customers the best value until he made the switch to Diamonds Direct.
But when I came to Diamonds Direct, I realized how wrong that was. I have so much more ability with this company to offer a bigger diamond at a higher quality for a lower price. It was a big surprise to me because I had been so ingrained with a different culture. I didn't believe it at first. I was very skeptical. So I spent a lot of time just looking at the diamonds that were in my inventory at Diamonds Direct, and I was blown away.
So take it from someone who's seen the difference firsthand. When it comes to diamonds, Diamonds Direct is the value leader.
I can get them bigger diamonds. I can get them more options to view in their price range. Overall, just offer a better value than I have at any other place I've worked. So don't be fooled by the phrase direct diamond importer, because you just can't get any closer to the source than Diamonds Direct. Our company was started by former diamond wholesalers.
Diamonds Direct. Get store hours and directions at diamondsdirect.com.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with Hero.Loan. Every year, we are proud to be part of the Bataan Memorial Death March. This is one of the best ways we can show our respect to the military. The other way was by creating Hero.Loan. We close VA loans in 14 days with lower interest rates, and at Hero.Loan, you will never pay for an appraisal. Maybe you've been thinking about a cash-out refinance or purchasing a new home. Get pre-approved in 5 minutes at Hero.Loan. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
You're a born leader. You're passionate and ambitious, and now you want more. At the University of Indianapolis, we're here to help you move your career forward. With full-time and part-time class options in the School of Business, you can get your master's degree in management, human resources, real estate, or data analytics. Or earn your MBA in just 1 year from one of the most established business programs in Indiana. You can do it, and we can help. Visit request.uindy.edu/business to learn more.
Hey guys, if you think you might have erectile dysfunction, you probably do, because 40% of men over 40 have ED. It's no surprise men feel uncomfortable or embarrassed talking about their condition. At the Indianapolis Men's Clinic, we get it. However, it's important to get past any discomfort and start resolving it. Untreated consequences of ED can be very damaging to a man and his partner physically and emotionally. There's no need for that. By taking action today, you can save your relationship and get back to the man you want to be. At the Indianapolis Men's Clinic, our physicians know how to solve your problem and will find a solution that will work for you. Your visit is only $99, and you'll see results that day. Call 999-9000. That's 999-9000 or indymensclinic.com. Be sure to ask about the revolutionary Priapus therapy, known to increase stamina, sensitivity, and even size.
Hey, it's Family Leisure's Factory Direct Patio Sale. Shop now for the largest selection at guaranteed lowest prices. Maintenance-free poly, contemporary sling, elegant cast aluminum, beautiful hand-woven wicker. They've got it all, and it's all on sale. Also, large selection of umbrellas, bases, covers, and more. Or you can visit the Design Center to custom order your collection. I used them, and I love them. Family Leisure, Penland Pike and Oak Landing Road, or familyleisure.com.
Your Indiana Pacers host Paul George and the Oklahoma City Thunder Thursday at 7. It's the Thunder's only visit this season. Get your tickets at Pacers.com. Pacers Thunder Thursday at 7.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. The Ride with JMV. FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
I'm John. Thank you for joining us. Brad's in here for Tony. Tony's going to Hinkle. Shooting horse for charity. Our charity, as always, Teachers Treasures. Love our teachers and love Teachers Treasures. Tony's off for about a week of vacation. It finds him in Vegas. And turn this back up over there for a second. Finds him in Vegas and then going down to Arizona to see Tucker Barnhart and the Reds in spring training. All right. Hashtag JMV Takeover. I know it's Wednesday and that comes up on Saturday, but I'm going to again be on B105.7 doing a JMV Takeover. It's an all-80s weekend. It's a Selection Sunday all-80s weekend. And I don't know how the hell I'm going to do this. I've only got like 3 hours. I'm going to try to give you the top 68 songs of the decade of the 80s, according to me and you. So it's according to me, according to your responses, hashtag JMV Takeover, or by calling or whatever. But that's Saturday morning, 9 until noon. It's a JMV Takeover on B105.7, and it is, as they have been so far, going to be an absolute blast coming up on Saturday. 9 until noon. I want to try to squeeze them all in. I said the top 68 in 3 hours, and they all kind of laughed. Alas, they do not completely understand the powers of me. So we're going to try to get it all in. Top 68 of the decade of the 80s on a JMV Takeover Selection Sunday All 80s weekend on B105.7. Coming up on Saturday, beginning at 9 a.m. Thank you, Brad. Big East Tournament, that's the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour, begins with the Friars of Providence and the Butler Bulldogs. Nick Gardner joined us a little bit earlier talking about that. Last time out, the end of the regular season, Butler got waylaid on the road by Providence, and a rematch is tonight. 8-9 affair. The winner gets the 1-seed Villanova tomorrow at noon. And we'll see what the Dogs can do against Providence coming up tonight. 6:30, your coverage begins right here, 7 p. is when that game is officially underway. And then hopefully the Dogs are playing around noon coming up tomorrow, which I think means if they're playing at noon, that game may be complete a little bit earlier, and maybe I'll come on a little bit earlier, which will benefit us all. So Providence and Butler, 8-9 game, 7 o'clock, 6:30 is your pregame show with Mark and Nick coming up at the bottom of the 6 o'clock hour. All right, you fans keep this in mind. And again, we talked a little bit earlier about, those on the bubble had a little bit of issue last night. And last night was a great example in Gonzaga and getting knocked off in the fashion in which they did by St. Mary's, of knowing that you have owned a team, beating a team by 48, and not being prepared to play that team, thinking you're just going to go in there and walk right through it. To me, I know this sounds stupid, but it's like the best thing that can happen to them. It's better happen to them now than it is into the tournament, even though it screwed a lot of teams. It did. You look at Ohio State and Indiana as a play-in game coming up tomorrow. For a team like Belmont, as we had Dylan Windler on yesterday, and they're sitting back and they're hoping for a little bit of chaos to get an at-large in there, that did not do them a service whatsoever. But that just goes to show you, in a division, or in this case, in a conference which you have owned, absolutely owned, and you beat that team by 48, they were absolutely unprepared. They thought they were going to walk in there, the Orleans last night, and just roughshod, and St. Mary's didn't have any of it. Not any of it. To me, that's the best example of thinking it's done. Gutshot writes this: 68 songs in 3 hours. You're not going to be able to talk much. Hell, I might listen. No. I strategically pick lulls or pauses or instrumentals in the song to get my point across. There's never shutting me up there, Gutshot Greg. Now, I'll find my spot. It's from BT Do. Brad in studio, is that the legendary BS from the old state? It is not. It is not BS. It's Brad Huber over here, not Brad Shoemaker. Brad Shoemaker's the legendary BS. He was described as BS once upon a time by Mark Patrick because he thought the job that he did while at the other station was BS. That's a true story right there. And the story, there's a great story behind how I even got on the air And how I got to running the board for Mark is because BS was unable to do it while we were on the road. So I got sent back and I had to do it. And that's kind of how it all started. Seriously. It all started with BS, Brad.
Wow.
True. And BS had some really good sports updates. He dropped a really good, instead of Richard Childress racing, it was Richard Childress and things. It was great.
Oops.
BS was fantastic. Fantastic. So, no, it is not that BS. From Michael GG, I always wondered why Mike Damone's mom tells Stacy he was in the garage helping his dad when later it shows him living in an apartment. Can you answer this? I think he had two places. I think he had an off-campus, off-home apartment. And that's where PRI, was written on the side of his gremlin after he snubbed Stacy for the doctor's appointment. But, yeah. I think he had a couple of different places. I think he was helping his dad in his garage, but he was self-efficient enough in scalping tickets that he could afford an out-of-home, an off-campus apartment. Michael, there it is. It's from Matt. I heard where things got rough for Funchess in Carolina is that he wants the ball all the time and isn't happy when he doesn't get it. Hopefully he's okay with being a piece rather than the guy, kind of like Evans with the Pacers. Yeah, in case you did not hear today, Tyreek Evans is going to miss tomorrow night's Pacers OKC game again for personal reasons, and it's come to an end here. It has come to an end. And it's something that I thought had a lot of nice thought and a lot of nice designs by Kevin Pritchard, but we have known now for a long time that it simply was not going to work. And it hasn't. It didn't. Pacers OKC tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing my show tomorrow with Bud Light and Evan Williams. You got to stop by Coach's Downtown. Let's say you're going to the game tomorrow. Stop by Coach's Downtown, and we'll get you involved in a Pop-A-Shot contest where the winner, not tomorrow, but the overall winner, will win a trip to Las Vegas. But to me, tomorrow, beginning at 3, I got a Pop-A-Shot contest brought to you by Bud Light and Evan Williams at Coach's Tavern. That is downtown, down the street from Bankers Life Fieldhouse. So your pre-game OKC Thursday night party with me and your chance to win stuff coming up tomorrow at 3. Coach's Tavern downtown, which should be a blast. All right, speaking of a blast, up next, the most unfiltered segment in the history of indie radio. Nothing has ever sounded like this. I mean, in good and in bad. It's anything goes. Don't worry about being checked in because you won't. 239-1070. My way, your way. Anything goes. Next.
Sports with Dan Dockage.
It's interesting. If you were going to ask me earlier in the year, who would be down to stretch for a Big Ten title and who would be down to stretch trying to get in the NCAA, Purdue or Indiana? A lot of you, certainly after the Crossroads Classic, would have said, well, are you crazy? There's no way in hell Indiana's going to be that team. No way in hell is it going to be Purdue. No way in hell is it not going to be Indiana. Matt Painter's the coach of the year in the league.
Dan Dockage, weekdays noon till 3 on FM 107.5 and 1070 The Fan.
Hey gang, Garrison here. Time again, Hoosiers. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. People, there's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. Anything from the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection and great displays of Americana. Don't forget to come and see us at the Indy 1500 this weekend, Friday 2 to 8, Saturday 8 until 6, and Sunday 9 until 4 at the Indy 1500. We'll see you there.
At Huntington, we're always looking out for you. So when our customers told us it can be tough to keep track of spending, we invented the spending drone.
How can I help you today? Oh, I'm looking for a dress to wear tonight.
Budget on track.
Is that your drone? Oh yeah, that's my Huntington spending drone. Follows me around. Make sure I don't overspend when I go shopping.
Amazing. Well, these are the dresses over here. Anything else I can get you?
Yeah, maybe some shoes to go with it.
Over budget.
Or how about some earrings?
Over budget.
How about a necklace?
Nope.
Scarf?
Nope.
Belt? Lipstick?
Sorry, over budget.
How about just the dress?
Budget on track.
That thing follows you everywhere? Yep.
That's, helpful.
So we simplified, presenting Huntington Heads Up. You set the monthly amounts you want to spend on shopping, and we'll send a heads up to your phone to keep you on track. It's just one more way we're looking out for you. Huntington, welcome. Member FDIC. Carriers message and data rates may apply.
On cold, snowy days, you just want to stay in the comfort of your home until your furnace breaks. Hi, I'm Corey Kreitzberger, General Manager at 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning. For same-day repairs that will keep you warm and cozy, trust the highly trained technicians at 1 Hour. Call 855-1-HOUR today and get $51 off any repair. That's 855-1-HOUR.
Your comfort is just a call away. Call 1 Hour.
Terms and conditions may apply. License 8001-0668.
Hey, business owners. It's Switch and Save Days at Comcast Business. Right now, when you switch to the nation's largest gig speed network, you save on fast, reliable internet. Get started with 25 megabit internet and voice for $59.90 per month for a 2-year agreement when you sign up for EcoBill and automatic payment. That's $650 off our regular yearly price. Just one more way we take your business beyond. There's never been a better time to switch to Comcast Business. But hurry, Switch and Save Days ends April 5th. Call 1-800-501-6000 today. Comcast Business. Beyond fast.
Offer ends 4/5/19. Restrictions apply. New business customers only. 2-year agreement required. Early termination fee applies. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra, subject to change.
Josh from Indy was a coffee shop supervisor before starting a customer service career at Geico in 2016.
I could see myself working with Geico forever. While it's my last job, it just felt like something temporary. I was overworked and underpaid. Now I have a lot of opportunities for growth and promotions. But right now what I'm doing is selling insurance to people who need that kind of protection, and it really is a serious thing that people need to be protected, and so I feel like what I'm doing really matters.
Visit geico.job/Indy to apply.
A successful team knows how to play. So take your staff to Royal Pen for your company's team building event and share the fun. Royal Pen Leisure Centers offer the perfect combination of food and fun for your company's team building event. At Royal Pen, everyone's on the team when you're bowling. But Royal Pen is more than just bowling. We also offer a lot more activities, all focused on fun. It's always comfy in our non-smoking facilities, and bowling and all of our games are guaranteed to generate team spirit and lots of cheers. Call 465-8484 today and let Royal Pen plan your company's team building event. They'll take care of everything, so all your gang needs to do is relax, unwind, and have fun.
Set them up, knock them down, send them flying, spinning round.
For more information, call 465-8484 or look us up at royalpen.com.
Royal Pen, bowling, bowling.
This is Indy Sports Center. WFNI, WIBC, HD2, W298BB, W228CX, Indianapolis. Butler opens Big East tournament play against Providence this evening at 6:30 on FM 107.5 at 1070 The Fan. The Ride with JMV, FM 107.5 at 1070 The Fan.
All right, here's what you're waiting for. Turn it up here, Brad. $239-1070, the most unfiltered segment in the history of Indy radio. Anything you want to talk about, anything you want to say, it is phone callage in which we don't check you in. You call in and we roll with it, and we got a good, big, fat 20 minutes worth of anything goes right here. So everybody should have time, should be able to get in with all their thoughts, which I think is a good thing. My way, your way, anything goes at 239-1070 right now. A lot of guys are wanting to know maybe where Tevin Coleman, the former IU running back, was going to end up. He has been signed by the San Francisco 49ers. Tevin Coleman to the 49ers just moments ago. That's not normally what we talk about at Anything Goes. But, yeah, 49ers, Tevin Coleman, my way, your way, anything goes. Butler Bulldogs and the Providence Friars, bottom of the hour, Big East Conference Tournament. Mark and Nick got you coming up at 6:30. My way, your way, anything goes. Who's this?
This is Tom from Greenwood.
Hello, Tom from Greenwood. What's up?
John, just got a question for you.
Sure.
I know in your travels that you've done a lot of competitive adult basketball at many different venues.
Oh, absolutely.
I just want to know what's some of the total buffoonery or idiocracy you've seen from adults playing in those gyms unsupervised.
Unsupervised adults in gyms. Well, I'll tell you this. I normally don't go anywhere where there's a lot of buffoonery happening. So that's part of it. I cut it all out, and here's how I cut it out. I no longer playing a lot of those leagues. Like a long time ago in Bloomington, I decided not to play in any adult leagues after some buffoonery that you're talking about. So I don't normally go places where there's an opportunity or a chance to have to play alongside or with or against buffoons. You know what I mean? It's just not worth it.
I do know what you mean. Hey, I started officiating high school basketball back in 1980.
Yep.
And I've worked my way through the tournaments and all that stuff, but since I've retired. But early on in my career, I had the opportunity to work adult men's basketball at the palace called the Dearborn Hotel. Are you familiar?
The Dearborn Hotel. I am not. Share this story.
The Dearborn Hotel was, I think it was a hotel at one time, but it ended up being a men's shelter in the 70s and 80s and what have you. Since has been demolished. But they had a gym that was about 10 feet short of regulation on both sides, both ends.
So it looked like Saved by the Bell, right? Kind of like that, Jim?
Right.
Yeah, I got you, yeah.
One end ended up with, you make a regular layup and you crash into the wall. But that was, that was just normalcy back then. But anyway, I was totally blown away. One of my first times out at the Dearborn Hotel, there was recognized timeouts for smoke breaks. And I just thought I would share that with you. And
wait a minute, you guys, wait a minute, what was that? More than a 20-second timeout, right? You got smoke break timeouts back then.
Absolutely.
How long
3
were
regular timeouts, 3 smoke break timeouts, till when they were ready to start back up.
Let me tell you this. That was back in the day. There are pictures out there of certain former Indy Star reporters at Pacer games in the day, along press row, smoking cigs. I mean, puffing on heaters. That was common back then. It's funny. We don't think any longer. It's almost like, wow, how common smoking used to be. You know what I mean? Compared to now.
Absolutely.
Everybody's, smoked on airplane. Can you imagine being on an airplane now with somebody puffing on a heater next to you?
Hey, I just thought I'd share that with you, my friend.
This is what anything goes about. My way, your way, anything goes. 239-1070. You're on. Who's this?
It's Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, JMV. How are you?
Great, Jeff. Go ahead.
Hey, on that Dearborn gym, that brought back memories. I played up there, and there were spots on that floor, an old wooden floor, that you bounce the ball and it wouldn't come back.
Nice. Dead spots in the floor and cigarette smoke breaks. Solid.
Those were the good old days.
They were. Hey, thank you for the call. My way, your way, anything goes. Who's this? Hello, who's this?
Hello, this is John. How you doing?
John, it's anything goes. Go ahead.
Hey, I've never heard this mentioned on your show, but back in 1971, I worked all summer on a farm to save up money to go to something called Bobby Leonard's All-American Sports Camp.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah.
Remember that? It was out in Bainbridge.
I remember the name. I wasn't old enough to know too much about it, but I do recollect the name, yeah.
Yeah, there was a couple of kids from Eastern Green that attended the week I attended, but it was so much fun. There were college athletes, which were counselors, college and high school athletes from all over the state. And you got to major in football, basketball, or baseball, and they had a big tournament at the end. They had a big horse farm out there where Mel Daniels and all the big pro players would come out a couple of times a week and ride their horses and everything. But I've never met anybody else that ever went to it, but it was just a totally good time. I don't think it lasted very long.
Anything with Slick is bound to be a good time. Back then and now. Yeah, no doubt about that. Yeah.
Yeah, he would come and talk to us in his white patent leather shoes and plaid shirts and everything, and give us motivational speeches for 10 minutes, then he would disappear, and the other guys would take over. But anyway, it was a lot of fun.
Awesome.
I just wanted to mention it.
Thank you for mentioning that. My way, your way, anything goes. Who's this? Hello.
Hey there, JMV.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Hey, you're the man. Darnell Hillman, Dr. Dunk himself, Indiana Pacer great. came to my office a couple of weeks ago and spoke for an hour and talked about a lot of the stuff he's doing now. Had some great stories about the camps he's running for kids and kids basketball, and had a couple great stories about Slick Leonard and his days in coaching. So get the opportunity, bring him back
He's
on
awesome.
the air.
He is an awesome dude, man. Awesome.
That is the best stuff ever. So thank you, man. Talk to you soon.
Thank you. My way, your way, anything goes. Who's this?
This is Rodney.
Go ahead, man.
Okay, what was the horse's name on Cowboy Bob? I know the dog was Trigger, but what was the horse name?
Was it Tumbleweed?
No, that was the dog.
Tumbleweed was the dog. Gosh dang it. You believe this. How do I not know this?
I don't know. I don't know.
No. Windjammer.
Windjammer?
Is it Windjammer? I think it's Windjammer.
I don't know about all that. But we'll go with Windjammer.
It's not Sourdough the singing. It's not Sourdough the singing biscuit, is it? No, I think it's Windjammer.
No, it's not. It might be. All right, I try to look it up, but I can't find it anywhere.
All right, we'll find it for sure. I'm almost sure it's Windjammer, but we'll find it in the next 3 minutes. I guarantee you, right here. Guarantee it.
All right, right on.
Thank you, man. Thanks, Rodney. I thought it was Windjammer. The question was, Cowboy Bob, the great old-school, cartoon-oriented children's show back in the day on the great WTTV4, the name of Cowboy Bob, the late, great Cowboy Bob, his horse. I thought it was Windjammer. Tumbleweed was the dog. Sourdough was the puppet singing biscuit. Is it Windjammer? My way, your way. Anything goes. Hello.
Hey.
Yeah.
Seabiscuit was the name of the horse.
Seabiscuit was not the name of the damn horse. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was.
No, it was. Seabiscuit wasn't. No. Sourdough the singing biscuit was the puppet. It wasn't.
That's the singing biscuit. That's Happy the Helping Hand.
Seabiscuit was a horse back in the day, man.
That's what I said.
Well, I mean, it was not that horse.
Yeah, it was the horse. That was the horse, man.
All right. I bet it's not. I bet you. Thank you for the call. Hey, it is not named Seabiscuit. Cowboy Bob's horse. I say it's Windjammer. Seabiscuit was a movie about a racehorse. My way, your way. Anything goes. Who's this? Hello.
This is Todd.
Hello, Todd.
Yeah, I believe the horse name was Trigger.
And it was not. It wasn't Trigger. Why has nobody come up? Did I just dream Windjammer?
You know, I'm from Monrovia, Indiana, and you would think I would know a little bit about horses, and I really thought it was Trigger, but I might be wrong.
All right. Thank you for that. Anything goes. Who's this? We've got a horse with no name, kind of like America did back in the mid-'70s. Who's this?
Kevin, the name of the horse was Freckles.
Wasn't Freckles, Kevin. Anything goes. Who's this?
Hey, this is Trent.
Hello, Trent.
What's up, JMV?
What's happening, man? You know the answer to the question?
The horse name was Windjammer.
Thank you. Who's the damn king around here? Who's the king?
You and me.
Hey, you got that right, my brother. Who's the king? I told you it was Windjammer, no Freckles or Seabiscuit or Trigger. You guys are all in your head. You got names of different horses. My way, your way, anything goes. It is line 4. Who's this?
Chris.
Hello, Chris.
It was. I Googled it. It was Windjammer. I heard the last caller say it also.
Freckles. I'm telling you what. You know what? I think my nickname should be Google.
No doubt.
It should be Google. Thank you, my brother.
I'm an appliance tech. That's how I do everything.
See, I wish I should. I can't even do stuff when I Google it, so that's a problem. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Anything goes. Line 5. Who's this?
It's Ty.
Hello, Ty.
How's it going?
Great. What's up?
I wanted to get to you before those other guys said it, but yeah, Windjammer was the name of that horse.
Bingo.
I used to send little pictures I'd color and stuff in there, and he'd hang them on the little corral and show it on TV. And I got the biggest kick out of that as a little kid.
Did you ever go to the show? One of his shows?
I never went to the show, but I had a bunch of my pictures on the show.
That's awesome. I went once. I went to the Indiana when they used to have that spectacular at the Indiana State Fairgrounds during the fair. Remember that? I went to one show out at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. It was Cowboy Bob, and it was Janie, and it might have been Peggy, Popeye and Peggy. I think it was like 3 of them. I remember going. Yeah.
Well, the reason I called was I used to call in and talk to you back when you were with Mark Patrick on the air.
Yes.
And I worked downtown at the mall, and I used to call in and talk to you. We'd talk about race car drivers' wives and girlfriends.
Why wouldn't we? Yes, that's a pretty common topic on this show. Yes.
Yes, but anyway, you brought up earlier Hilliard Gates' voice in the movie Hoosiers, and in 1990, I ran track for Noblesville High School, and I was the state champion in the low hurdles. And I got to have Hilliard Gates say my name on WTTV4.
That's so awesome.
And I thought that was the greatest thing. I still have it on VHS. I need to get that thing copied to DVD before that tape breaks. But, that was so awesome just to have Hilliard Gates say my name on
That
TV.
is great. That's why when we played that a little bit earlier, I asked, I hadn't received an answer yet. I couldn't remember when he stepped away from doing the state finals broadcast. I couldn't remember what was his final year. Can you? I didn't.
No, but he stopped doing track pretty close to 1990 when I did it. I think I was one of the last years that he did it for track and field. I'm not sure when he stepped away from doing any of the other sports, but
gotcha.
he was a great voice, legendary. So.
You're right there. I love me some Hilliard Gates. Thank you for the call. Apparently, the first one was named. The first horse was Freckles, and his real name was Clyde, and on the show it was known as Windjammer. It's got more names than me. How's that? Line 1's anything goes. Hello. Who's
Hi.
this? Go ahead.
Mary. I was just calling about the horse.
Yeah, go ahead, Mary.
Sure. Okay.
Mary, I didn't do that, Mary. I did not do that. Brad Huber did it. Actually, he didn't do it, but I'm going to blame him because Brad's sitting right over there, and Brad hasn't done this before. Sorry, Mary. Mary, we need you back, Mary. Line 2, anything goes. Hello.
Yes. Hey, Cowboy Bob had 2 horses. First one died, was named Freckles, and the second one was Windjammer.
Windjammer's the one that I was aware of right there. So we'll give credit where credit is due, and Freckles too.
Hey,
Freckles too.
Coach ought to pick up Golden Tate.
Golden Tate from a man that had the answer here. Yeah, I don't know. I just looked on the board, and you get like the 3rd or 4th best wide receiver remaining on the list right now is Dontrell Inman. And then further down the list, you get to Dante Moncrief and Pierre Garçon. Line 3's anything goes. Hello, who's this?
Yes, John.
Yes.
The answer is, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name.
I gave that reference earlier, man. You can't piggyback off a reference I did 5 minutes earlier. Can't do it. Now, I'll also do the 10-man for it if you guys want. Listen, you guys think that I'm just 80s and 90s and today? I'm everything. I can't do 60s too much. I fail in the 60s and fail certainly in the 50s. But I can bring you some 70s, 80s, 90s, and today, by God, I can. Line 4, who is this?
This is Jeff.
Hello, Jeff.
Google says it's tumbleweed on Ventura Highway. I'm an old school. Get off my lawn.
You are. Tumbleweed on Ventura Highway. You're a fan of America?
Oh, absolutely.
Who's not? Shoot, that's some
exactly.
Yeah, that's some
you guys
good,
said it right.
soothing.
America.
Do you view America as yacht rock?
In a younger day, yes, and when it's candlelight, yes.
How about AM Gold instead of Yacht Rock? Can it be AM Gold?
Oh no, not that old.
All right, not AM
Not
Gold.
that old.
I got you.
No. All right.
Thank you for calling in. Line 5's anything goes. Hello.
Yes, I'm trying to get JMV.
Yeah, I'm right here, brother. Go ahead.
Hey, JMV, your Cowboy Bob reference just brought back an old memory to me. We were out at the Coliseum with my grandma. My chair had a sticker underneath it, which meant I got to be the winner, and I got to go on stage and hold the dog, hold the leash of the dog off on the side of the stage.
That's awesome.
Which was great until during commercial break, someone planted fake dog poop on the stage, and they all led me to believe that I had allowed the dog to poop on stage.
So you thought Tumbleweed pooped on the stage?
They made me think I allowed Tumbleweed to poop on the stage.
How old were you?
I was probably 7.
That's a scarring event right there. You know?
Oh yeah, I absolutely cried like a baby, and they led me off the stage to my grandma's arms. It was awful. I never had the same respect for Cowboy Bob after that, playing tricks on youngsters. It was awful.
Oh man, that's an awesome story. Thank you, JMV. Can you recite the theme song to Cowboy Bob? Who do you think you're talking to here, Brad? Do you think I can do it?
Yeah, go for it.
The hitching post is waiting round the bend. My weary ride is coming to an end. I'm going to stop and let myself have the best rib tickling in this town where laughing's in style. I think I'm going to stop a while and smile. Welcome to Cowboy Bob's Corral.
That's impressive.
And you just saw it. There's no help here. It's off the top. Yes.
I
absolutely.
have no idea if you're right or not.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
impressive.
Just bank it. Bank that being right. Bank it. Line 1's anything goes. Hello.
Hey, JMV, this is Brady.
Hello, Brady.
How's it going, dude?
Great, buddy. Thank you.
Good. Hey, I'll tell you right now, with this Funchess signing yesterday, the Colts went from a small wide receiving core to slightly above average speed to a slightly bigger receiving core with average speed, and all that just means they're still just slightly above average. I hope they're not done dealing with the receiving cores.
Yeah.
You know what I said yesterday when I heard about that?
What's that?
I said, oof.
By the way, Devin Funchess joins the show coming up tomorrow. Devin Funchess on the show tomorrow. Matt Painter's on the show tomorrow. Just not this part of the show. They won't be on this part of the show. They'll be on a different part of the show. Anything goes at 239-1070. Who's this?
This is Greg.
Hello, Greg.
I was wondering how long you think it'll take for the Browns to win a Super Bowl with Baker and Odell.
Oh, man. This would be complete and utter Cleveland Browns for this to turn into FUBAR, right? I mean, don't you kind of a little bit? I mean, I don't like Cleveland. I don't really care, but don't you kind of a little bit hope that this doesn't work out just for the sake of them continuing to be Cleveland and the Cleveland Browns, right? Kind of.
Look, I'm a big fan of the underdog. I will always root for the Colts, and if it comes down to Colts versus Browns, I will root for the Colts all the way. But, man, that would be a great underdog story.
See, I don't even know if they're you can't be an underdog if you have Beckham and Landry and, you get that clown act Hunt back and Myles Garrett. I mean, you're no longer an underdog, are you, with that?
I don't know. I mean,
you're like one of the top
14 to 1 odds.
Yeah, I mean, all of a sudden you got some of the highest odds to make it to the Super Bowl. You're not you're not an underdog any longer.
I know, but man, you go back just 2 years going from an 0-16 team to being Super Bowl contenders, man, how can you not root for that?
Yeah, and thank you for the call. I'm still kind of rooting for a little bit of FUBAR here. I am rooting, hoping, thinking. Line 5, anything goes. Hello.
Hey, what's going on, y'all?
What's happening?
I think we just need to give a quick shout-out to the USA Rugby Sevens team for winning the U.S. Nationals and sweeping everybody out. And then I want to know where you think Will Greer is going to go in the draft.
Will Greer is what? Maybe a third, fourth round guy? That's just off the top of my head. I'm not sure. I don't know where he's going to go. He will get drafted. Do you think he'll be taken in the first 3 rounds?
I don't know. I'm thinking maybe middle of the second, but I didn't know where you guys thought he might go.
I thought more of a third rounder, but I mean, anybody who's out there that might be at some point grooming a quarterback that makes sense, I don't know. It would be Miami. I mean, somewhere like maybe Tampa down the road. I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe Carolina down the road, something like that. Something where you don't have to go in right away. That's just a guess. Just a couple of guesses.
Fair enough. Man, I appreciate it. Y'all take her easy.
Thank you. Anything goes. Who's this? Hello.
JMV, Daryl.
Hello, Daryl. Go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Ursay's got to open up his wallet. We're going to be playing some of the big boys next year. I know we're not. The rest of the teams in our division aren't doing much as far as the free agency. And we probably are just going to have to win our division again to get in the playoffs. But we're not going to go anywhere after that if they keep playing this game.
Well, let me tell you this. Ursay's, his wallet's always open. He's willing to spend and spend and spend. This is the philosophy of Ballard. This is Ballard's thing. This is how he wants to approach it. And Jim hired him to do this job, and Jim's on board with it. But, hey, Jim is never, ever, ever going to shy away from paying and opening up a wallet. He always has and always will.
Yeah, but we're going to be playing some of the big boys next year.
I would agree with you from the wide receiving standpoint. I'll tell you what, I got to run, Daryl. Thank you. I would agree. I need a little bit of an upgrade, and I said that last year, and that held true last year, even with the emergence mid-season of Dontrell Inman. I still believe that. Where are we right now, Brad? We got to go? All right. We got to go right now. Anything goes. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much. Brad, you did a great job. Coming up tomorrow, Devin Funchess will join me tomorrow. Matt Painter will join me tomorrow. We got your chance to win a Vegas trip beginning tomorrow. Coach's Tavern, 3 o'clock before the OKC Pacers game with me. I'll be doing the show at Coach's Tavern with Bud Light and Evan Williams coming up tomorrow. Butler and Providence, Big East Conference Tournament. Mark and Nick have the call for you. The pregame show, bottom of the hour next. Have a great night.
Text and whatever. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
The Lucky You sales event is on now at Penske Chevrolet. Get on over to 96th and Keystone, and when you tell a Big Joe sent you, Penske will make your first payment of up to $500 for you. Now the hard part's picking out your award-winning Chevy vehicle. Take 25% off the 2019 Equinox, or finance it for 72 months with no interest. Penske is closing out the 2018 Malibu, so take 25% off the sticker price or get the same 0% financing for 72 months. And the all-new redesigned 2019 Silverado Crew Cab also has the unbelievable interest-free financing for 72 months. The 2019 is bigger, stronger, and lighter than the previous generation, with more choices than ever before without jeopardizing the legacy of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickup on the road today. So just stop by and see Jay Smith and Brett Rosie for all the details at Penske Chevrolet. That's 96th and Keystone, or online at PenskeChevyIndy.com. Chevy, find new roads, especially the road to the Lucky You sales event going on now at Penske Chevrolet.
Chris Young, live, Raised on Country Tour. I was raised on country. Saturday, July 13th, Ruoff Home Mortgage Music Center. Chris Young, hit after amazing hit, with special guests Chris Jansen and Low Cash. Reserve seat tickets on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. at LiveNation.com. Chris Young, Raised on Country Tour, part of the Coors Light Concert Series.
Hey gang, Garrison here. Time again, Hoosiers. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show this coming weekend at the fairgrounds, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. People, there's never been a more important time to exercise our rights as true Americans. It's the Indy 1500 Gun and Knife Show. Anything from the best in sporting, hunting, and personal protection, and great displays of Americana. Don't forget to come and see us at the Indy 1500 this weekend, Friday 2 to 8, Saturday 8 until 6, and Sunday 9 until 4 at the Indy 1500. We'll see you there.
Hey, Dan Dockett here for my friends at Just Add Water Boats, the only place I know of where you can ride before you buy on Indy's only test lake. Just Add Water Boats is the oldest boat dealer in Indy and the largest Yamaha boat dealer in the Midwest. Head south 465 on the east side. Take a look at over 400 new and used boats. Make sure you check out their number one selling boat from Yamaha. Buy now. Take advantage of manufacturer incentives that are going on at this moment online at justaddwaterboats.com. Just Add Water Boats will add just a little more fun to your life.
If you're a flooring professional, you need to know about Floor & Decor. It's the perfect store just for you. Over 1 million square feet of quality tile, wood, and stone flooring in stock. Dedicated pro services and pickup area. Free 14-day storage. But even better, they are the flooring low price leader. Guaranteed. We will not be beat on price, so you save money each and every day. It's the one-stop shop for pros like you. Floor & Decor. Across from Castleton Square Mall next to Dave & Buster's. Or visit flooranddecor.com.
A successful team knows how to play. So take your staff to Royal Pen for your company's team building event and share the fun. Royal Pen Leisure Centers offer the perfect combination of food and fun for your company's team building event. At Royal Pen, everyone's on the team when you're bowling. But Royal Pen is more than just bowling. We also offer a lot more activities, all focused on fun. It's always comfy in our non-smoking facilities, and bowling and all of our games are guaranteed to generate team spirit and lots of cheers. Call 465-8484 today and let Royal Pen plan your company's team building event. They'll take care of everything, so all your gang needs to do is relax, unwind, and have fun.
Set 'em up, knock 'em down, send them flying, spinning round.
For more information, call 465-8484 or look us up at royalpen.com.
Royal Pen, bowling, bowling. Royal
I'm a veteran. We hit a mine in Vietnam. When I came home, I didn't know where to turn.
As America's veterans face challenges, DAV is there.
My victory's been never giving up hope. My wife is always there to remind me we have a life to live.
DAV provides a lifetime of support, helping veterans of every generation get the benefits they've earned.
I am a veteran, but after I got out, I spent 2 years alone and homeless.
Every year, DAV helps more than 1 million veterans so they can reach victories great and small.
My victory was finding the support to get back on my feet. Now I'm getting things right with my family.
I finally admitted, with my PTSD, I wasn't doing well.
But there's more to be done, and more victories to be won.
Now I wish I'd found DAV sooner. I am a veteran. My victory is just enjoying each day.
Help support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
St. Patrick's Day is this Sunday, and all your supplies are at Payless Liquors. Charlie says sell it, including these great Irish whiskeys. Proper 12. This is the new Conor McGregor whiskey, just $25.99. Jameson is $25.99. Bushmills Red Bush is $24.99. And for those who want Green Bear, well, Coors and Miller 9-pack aluminum pints are just $9.99. You add the food coloring. And Payless Liquors has the rest for you at their 26 locations in Central Indiana and online at PaylessLiquors.com. Don't pay more, get more, and pay less at Payless Liquors.
Franciscan Health wants you to beat the odds of getting colon cancer. Learn about colonoscopies at franciscanhealth.org/50. Saturday appointments available.
Hey Indy 11 fans, Coach Rennie here. Opening night tickets for March 30th are on sale now. Go to Indy11.com or call 317-685-1100 to reserve your seat today.
On the PNC Butler Radio Network. From Learfield IMG College, Bulldog Basketball is brought to you by the 2019 Nissan Rogue. One solid defender. Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics. Pepsi, live for now. PNC Bank, for the achiever in you. And by St. Vincent Sports Performance, listening to you, caring for you. Now let's go courtside. This is Butler Bulldogs pregame.
For the third time in 16 days, Butler and Providence will meet. This time it's in the Big East Tournament inside the Mecca, Madison Square Garden in New York City. First round coverage of the Big East Tournament featuring the Butler Bulldogs and the Providence Friars. Both teams tied for 8th in the regular season standings with conference records of 7-11. Butler got the 9 seed, Providence the 8 seed. That's because the Friars swept the Bulldogs in the regular season back on February 26th, way back when on February 26th. The Friars got the 73-67 victory in overtime in Indianapolis. And then on Saturday afternoon, on Senior Day in Rhode Island, Providence with an 83-70 victory over the Bulldogs. Butler 16-15, their overall record this season. 2-2 in a neutral court setting. Providence comes in 17-14 overall, 1-2 on a neutral court. The Chapman Heating and Cooling pregame show from Madison Square Garden starts right now. We welcome you to New York City. The Big East Tournament first-round coverage, 2 games today. The 8-9 matchup, the first one, then the 7-10 matchup between St. John's and DePaul at the conclusion of this game. Hope everybody's had a wonderful day. Alongside my broadcast partner, Nick Gardner, I'm Mark Minner. Delighted to have you join us. And, Nick, when you think about, before you get to the actual game itself, Madison Square Garden, the Big East Tournament, Bulldogs have an opportunity over the course of 4 days to try and punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament, and in a very congested Big East conference that had the 3 seed in the tournament finish with 9 wins and the 10 seed finish with 7 wins in conference play. It should make for a special few days here in New York.
We talked all season long, Mark, about how congested things were in the Big East, and even got more congested late. Marquette loses 4 straight there at the end of the year. Villanova loses 3 of their final 5 games to kind of come back to the pack a bit. And then, as you said, seeds, the rest of the league was really bunched up. And so all the while, that's kind of setting up for what could be a very competitive tournament here at Madison Square Garden this week, and that certainly looks like the case. I mean, you're talking about a team in St. John's who started off so strong, was in the top 25, and kind of came back to earth a little bit. And look, just the rigors of Big East play caught up to them, and all of a sudden they're playing on a Wednesday night here at Madison Square Garden in the next game. And so anybody feels like they have a chance to go win this thing, and you're a little bit more challenged in having to play 4 games in 4 days if you are playing tonight. But, boy, that big carrot of a chance to survive and advance in the world's most famous arena. So I think a lot of these teams are coming in very optimistic, very excited about the opportunity of what's at hand, because they feel like you can beat anybody in this league, and rightfully so. And so now it's just a matter of time of coming out and making sure that you handle or control what you can control, and try to play your best basketball this time of the year. Obviously, Butler and Providence very familiar with each other. This is the 3rd matchup in 16 days. You played over the weekend, so you're very familiar, and there's going to be some adjustments certainly, but really it's going to come down to kind of those things that you can't measure, right? Like who can go get some of those loose balls, who can make the extra effort type of plays, who can create some easier opportunities because of the familiarity you have with each other, just being in league play, but also just how compact these games have been for the Friars and the Bulldogs. And Butler knows all too well what they cannot do, as was seen in that loss at Providence on their senior day over the weekend. The Friars were on fire, and they came out focused in the early going. The Dogs understand, I think, how they have to come out from the very beginning and play Butler basketball to have a chance.
Let's talk about this matchup a little bit more. Butler and Providence in the first round of the Big East tournament tonight. So, Nick, round 1, Providence and Butler. Bulldogs had to charge late in that game to force overtime, and as good as Butler played at the end of regulation, Providence took over in overtime. And then on Saturday, it was really a story of Providence jumping out of the gate really strong. A.J. Reeves, Isaiah Jackson helped set the tone. Too little, too late for the Bulldogs, who were down 28 in the second half.
Well, and you look, Mark, at the numbers in the second half. Butler 53%. Now, only 3 of 12 from behind the arc, and that's probably why it didn't get a little tighter. It did get to that under 4. There was maybe one possession where you felt like if you could have got a stop there around the 3-minute mark and gotten a score, it would have gotten really interesting. But the Dogs were never able to put that run and kind of put the pressure back on Providence to have them, get tight, because it was just that type of game. Now, the thing is, Mark, in both of those matchups, it was Providence who set the tone early. It was an early 14-point lead at Hinkle Fieldhouse. Butler was able to come back. They trimmed it to 5, did the Dogs at halftime. And then, as you said, kind of a late charge to get it to overtime after a late run by Providence. Look, that was a nip-tuck game. Boom, it was a quick 7-0 run or 6-0 run, and all of a sudden it was a 7-point game under 2 minutes to play, and Butler did a great job to force overtime. You look back at the game on Saturday, and just, as you said, too little, too late. It was the shooting firepower of a team who had struggled in Providence to shoot the basketball from the perimeter all season long, and you saw what they were able to do when they were able to make shots. And, again, it was the start. There was no tone set. You allowed the Friars to get in rhythm, and in turn, they had guys making shots. Jackson and Reeves in particular really made things happen. And this is a team in Providence that prides itself on scoring inside the paint, scoring from the charity stripe, playing kind of bully ball, power basketball. And when they spread you out, you saw how potent that offense could be when they're making shots. So really important to set the tone early and have more of a presence and just an overall better start for Butler. They've not been able to do so in the 2 previous matchups.
Talk more about this matchup between Butler and Providence and get you set for the rest of the field in the Big East Tournament here in Madison Square Garden. This is the Chapman Heating and Cooling pregame show. You're listening to the PNC Butler Radio Network from Learfield IMG College.
How did I get here? Dumb luck? Or good decisions? About marriage, children, money, about tomorrow.
Who matters most to you says the most about you. At MassMutual, we're owned by our policy owners, and they matter most to us. Learn more at massmutual.com/mutuality. Contact West Point Financial Group at 317-469-9999 or westpointfinancialgroup.com.
When you look around, you might feel pride is in short supply these days. Everything's being disrupted. But Ford has been around for 115 years, and we know the only constant is change. So, disruption, yeah, it's what we do every day. You see, we still take pride in what we build and how we build. We even take pride in taking pride. And the world could use more of that right now. Because if you don't believe in what you're doing, why do it at all? Build Ford proud.
10 years have passed since the financial crisis. The stock market has recovered and the economy is booming. Can we afford to relax? Not quite. At Winthrop, we work with financial advisors and institutional clients to help manage investment risk. Contact Winthrop Capital Management and we can structure your portfolio to help manage the volatility in the markets. Call 317-663-7510 or visit wintropcm.com to get started. Winthrop Capital Management. Disciplined risk management, customized investment solutions. Calling all Bulldogs fans. This season is all about fresh squeezed victory. If the Bulldogs win tonight, you win a free lemonade courtesy of Penn Station. Come in tomorrow and use the code word Fresh Squeezed Victory to redeem your Penn Station signature fresh squeezed lemonade. Perfect to wash down a hot sub and fresh cut fries all season long. See you at Penn Station.
Hi, Jeff Chapman here with Chapman Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. In a typical home, heating and cooling bills can comprise over half the total utility cost, and air conditioners consume more energy than most appliances. If your system is over 10 years old, it may be time to consider upgrading. If you're having problems with your air conditioning or suspect your system isn't working properly, contact me, Jeff Chapman, at chapmanheating.com. I promise to be there the same day to get your system back on track and running smoothly. Remember the man, Chapman, the man for all seasons, chapmanheating.com.
Back in Madison Square Garden, it's the Big East Tournament, Butler and Providence in the 8-9 matchup. Bulldogs the 9 seed, Providence the 8 seed with Nick Gardner. Mark Minner, glad to have you join us. And Nick, this is a field in the Big East Tournament. You look at the path for the Bulldogs, what that would look like. It's certainly got to take care of business this evening against the Friars in that 8-9 matchup. That's one of the more unique matchups because the winner of that has the quick turnaround of playing Villanova, the number 1 seed in the tournament, tomorrow at noon. But to win the Big East Tournament, to punch your ticket to the NCAA tournament, which, given the way the Bulldogs season ended, you're looking to get wins. You're looking to try and get that automatic berth. But, Nick, you'd have to turn around and play Villanova, and strange things happen in the Big East Tournament. We're just talking to John Paquette about the anniversary of the 6 overtime game with UConn.
Well, and look, a few years ago when Butler was in the Wednesday games against Seton Hall turned around and beat the Villanova Wildcats in that noon game to upset as they made a run in this tournament. And so you're right. And look, if there's a year where crazy things are going to happen, it's going to be this 2019 Big East Tournament, isn't it? Just because of how tight things are and how close a lot of these games have been, Mark. Look, it's a game of matchups, and a lot of times it comes down to who can be playing their best, who can make some more shots to separate it because all these teams are so very evenly matched. And certainly it's a tall task. There's a reason. Look, to the victor go the spoils, right? So if you're the 1 seed, you've earned the right to play a team that had to play last night, to be well rested. But you're also, there is some pressure in that regard too. And so, look, you've obviously got to take care of business, and it's a tall task. But the name of the game is one at a time, and the Dogs would love nothing more than to be faced with that tall task of playing the Wildcats tomorrow at noon.
That's absolutely right. And some awards were handed out this week in the Big East, and Butler picked up a few of them. You had Kamar Baldwin named to the All-Conference second team. Paul Jorgensen was named the sixth man of the year in the Big East Conference, and Nate Fowler picked up the Sportsmanship Award in the Big East, and that means the fourth time in 6 years that the Butler Bulldogs have had the Sportsmanship Award. Past recipients include Alex Barlow in 2015, Kellen Dunham in 16, and Tyler Weidman a season ago. But Nate Fowler joins that crew. Paul Jorgensen, the sixth man, and Kamar Baldwin, who was preseason All-Conference, finishes as a postseason, All-Conference as well on the second team. Baldwin, who has played well against Providence, picked up 27 points in the first meeting this season. Had 25 points when they met earlier in his Butler career. You look at what it's going to take, Nick. Certainly, you got your All-Conference player in Kamar Baldwin, but Paul Jorgensen has been hot of late as well. And you're going to need more than one person, just as the Bulldogs have relied on all season long, to try and beat the Friars tonight.
Well, that's when, in big-time wins this season, it's been a collective effort. Even if you're playing 3 minutes, you're playing 35 minutes, you've gone out there, and those guys have contributed positively and made winning plays. Whether it's, making threes, whether it's defending, whether it's rebounding, whatever it may be, you can go down the list, Mark. And you think back to the DePaul win. That was a big win on the road for this team. Jordan Tucker played really well. Guys in the middle, everyone did their job and contributed positively in whatever form or fashion that may be. And that's certainly what it's going to take to win some games out here. I think really it's key. You've got to make some shots, too. The Dogs have struggled from behind the arc. We mentioned, although they shot it well in that second half, just 3 of 12 from deep were the Butler Bulldogs on Saturday in Providence. And so you're going to have guys come in and make shots. Now, whether it's one guy making 5, whether it's a couple guys spreading it around, you're going to have to spread things out and make some shots from the perimeter against this Providence club because of how difficult they can be to score on in the paint. And you're right, though. It's been on down the list. Christian David's come in and made really good defensive contributions. Joey Brunk and Nate Fowler have held down the middle. Bryce Golden has played a little bit more in that role, too. And so some of those guys, and then obviously if your job's to shoot it, you've got to step up and take those shots when they're there, shoot them with confidence, and make some things happen. The other thing I think will be key tonight, especially, Mark, is defensively. You got to use your speed and your lack of size, if you will, to your advantage. This is a big, strong Providence bunch, but you've got some quickness advantages on the perimeter. Can you create some easy opportunities or simply make it really tough on Providence to get into their stuff by using that quickness advantage you have defending their guards?
Providence and Butler in the first round of the Big East tournament. Butler, the 9 seed, Providence, the 8 seed. It's the first of 2 games tonight. The other first-round game will feature the 7 seed St. John's and the 10 seed DePaul at the conclusion of this one. When we come back, we'll have our PNC Bank Coaches Corner conversation with LaVal Jordan as we get set for the Friars and the Bulldogs in Madison Square Garden on the PNC Butler Radio Network from Learfield IMG College.
Wonder what the outrageously energizing experience of Mountain Dew Kickstart is like? Well, it's like a combo of 3 awesome things: dew, juice, and caffeine rebooting your entire personal operating system.
Mountain Dew Kickstart is in position for consumption. Release the Mountain Dew Kickstart. Mountain Dew Kickstart released. Experiencing a charge of Mountain Dew Kickstart now.
Mountain Dew Kickstart operation successful.
Roger that.
Get charged up with Mountain Dew Kickstart. Available in 10 energizing flavors like Midnight Rave. It all starts with a kick.
Butler only trusts optometrists under the name VisionWorks. Doctors of optometry with the vision care for all our student athletes. Locally owned and operated since 1992, Dr. Mark Lynn has always been committed to providing an excellent shopping experience and high-quality products with the best value and selection in the industry. Visit your local VisionWorks today to invest in your active lifestyle. VisionWorks, the official vision care provider of Butler Athletics.
How did I get here? Dumb luck? or good decisions about marriage, children, money, about tomorrow.
Who matters most to you says the most about you. At MassMutual, we're owned by our policy owners, and they matter most to us. Learn more at massmutual.com/mutuality. Contact West Point Financial Group at 317-469-9999 or westpointfinancialgroup.com.
Petit G Jewelers is a proud sponsor of your Butler Bulldogs. Located just up the street from historical Hinkle Fieldhouse on Illinois Street, Petit G Jewelers and owner Dana Friedman focus on unique and one-of-a-kind jewelry selections, including artisan designers, fashion jewelry, rare metals, heirloom collection, and prestigious brands. Over the years, the Petit G Jewelers team has worked one-on-one with many in the Butler family to find a winning piece of jewelry, and they'll do the same for you. Stop by Petit G Jewelers and see for yourself. Go Dogs!
The Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the highly recognized mark of distinction in college athletics across all divisions, both men's and women's sports. Follow your favorite team's pursuit for excellence in this prestigious annual award through the directorscup.com, USA Today, or L Directors Cup on Twitter. Learfield IMG College Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics since 1993.
Back on the Chapman Heating and Cooling pregame show inside Madison Square Garden. It's time now for the PNC Bank Coaches Corner conversation. It's the Big East Tournament first round. Butler and Providence this evening, alongside head coach LaVall Jordan for the Butler Bulldogs. I'm Mark Minner. And, Coach, always a special opportunity anytime you get to play inside the Garden, play a part of the Big East Tournament, and somehow it's the third matchup with Providence in 16 days.
Yeah, no, obviously it's a special place in the basketball world, and we're fortunate, me and a member of the Big East, to get to come here at the end of the year. So, I know there's a lot of excitement around it, and a lot of looking forward to it on everybody's behalf. And so now it's all, and once you get past that, it's all about us in Providence, and so we've got to come out and execute and do our jobs to get it done.
What is preparation like differently in this matchup? Usually you'll play a team, a couple times in conference play, if not 3 times, but to do it in such quick succession, including on Saturday, how does the preparation for this game change?
Yeah, fortunately or unfortunately, whichever way you look at it, we had a similar situation last year with Seton Hall, where we had just coming off a loss at their place and had to turn right back around and play them in the first round of the tournament. And so some guys that were here on the roster and us as a staff, just did that, and you have that reference. And you're just trying to look at the things that they did that they got success from and see if there's maybe an adjustment or two to make to take some things away or do something different without completely getting away from what you've done all year, because you want your guys to be comfortable and confident out there in a new venue.
What are some of the things you look at? You say, we're going to have to do this to be able to advance in the Big East tournament today.
Yeah, well, Providence, it's been the same deal since we've been in the Big East. When you're facing their team, Coach Cooley coaches them to be physical, and they are. So you have to match the physicality. They rebound and they punch the ball into the paint. And so we've got to do a better job of keeping it out of there. They made threes in Game 2, not necessarily what they had been doing all year long, but they got hot. So we can't let them be comfortable and get into a rhythm.
Well, good luck tonight.
Thanks a lot.
That's LaVall Jordan, head coach for the Butler Bulldogs. They get set to take on the Providence Friars in the first round of the Big East tournament here in Madison Square Garden. This has been our PNC Bank Coaches Corner conversation. More of the Chapman Heating and Cooling pregame show. This is the PNC Butler Radio Network from Learfield IMG College.
Babe, put your phone down.
Can't. I'm customizing a Nissan Rogue and our team colors for our chance to win it.
But real fans watch everything.
Okay, real fan. Who's winning?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'll take the Rogue.
Enter the Nissan Own the Paint sweepstakes today at nissanusa.com/Rogue sweepstakes. Get to Nissan, a proud partner of the Butler Bulldogs. No purchase necessary. To enter and for official rules, visit nissanusa.com/Rogue sweepstakes. Ends 3/31/19. Open to residents of the U.S. or D.C. except Alaska, 18 and older. Void where prohibited.
Calling all Bulldogs fans. This season is all about fresh squeezed victory. If the Bulldogs win tonight, you win a free lemonade courtesy of Penn Station. Come in tomorrow and use the code word Fresh Squeezed Victory to redeem your Penn Station signature fresh squeezed lemonade. Perfect to wash down a hot sub and fresh cut fries all season long. See you at Penn Station. We raise our pints to you, Butler Bulldog fans. Here's to your hard work and the dedication you put in game after game. Upland Brewing Company is proud to be your craft beer sponsor for the 2019 season. So grab a hoppy Dragonfly IPA, refreshing wheat ale, or crisp champagne velvet, and let's cheer on the Dogs in the Big East Conference Tournament. Must be 21 or over to enjoy, and please drink responsibly. Learn more at uplandbeer.com.
Petit G Jewelers is a proud sponsor of your Butler Bulldogs. Located just up the street from historical Hinkle Fieldhouse on Illinois Street, Petit G Jewelers and owner Dana Friedman focus on unique and one-of-a-kind jewelry selections, including artisan designers, fashion jewelry, rare metals, heirloom collection, and prestigious brands. Over the years, the Petit G Jewelers team has worked one-on-one with many in the Butler family to find a winning piece of jewelry, and they'll do the same for you. Stop by Petit G Jewelers and see for yourself. Go Dogs!
I've been in the heating and air conditioning business here in Indiana for over 30 years, and I feel like I've seen it all. To this day, I can't tell you why the air conditioner or the furnace always seems to break on the hottest or coldest day of the season. But if this does happen to you, or you suspect that your systems aren't working properly, contact me. And if it is an emergency, don't worry. I'm here 24/7 and promise to be there the same day. Whether it's the air conditioning unit, the furnace, or even your plumbing, just remember the man, Chapman, the man for all seasons. Call or visit us online at chapmanheating.com.
Back inside Madison Square Garden, getting you set for Butler and Providence in the first round of the Big East Tournament. And as you hear the Butler War Song being played, the Bulldogs out on the floor right now in the layup lines, getting set for the third matchup with the Providence Friars in just 16 days. Well, Nick, it is time now for the Bill Estes Automotive keys to the game.
First and foremost, you've got to set the tone early in this game. We saw in both matchups, especially over the weekend, where if you don't come out and have a tone early, the other team can set that tone, and it cannot be a good one for you moving forward. The Dogs have to come out and have a presence defensively, set that tone. Secondly, I think getting some easy opportunities, whether you're forcing turnovers, whether you're able to force some of those misses from the perimeter and use those as transition opportunities, those long rebounds, you've got to try to use your speed and your quickness to your advantage on the perimeter and get some easy opportunities. And then lastly, you've got to try to spread that defense and space the floor, and a lot of that, Mark, comes down to making some shots from the perimeter. You've got to shoot to your percentages, really. If you're able to do that, if you're Butler, you can open some things up on the middle, but it's really about spacing their defense, spreading that defense to create some alleys, and a lot of that comes down to making shots from the perimeter for the Dogs.
Thank you, Nick. These keys to the game are brought to you by Bill Estes Automotive, where we've got the keys to your next car. Bill Estes Automotive, it's a different kind of dealer. It's also time for tonight's St. Vincent Sports Performance Injury Report, and the Bulldogs all healthy, able to play, same as has been the trend, with one exception, which is Gerald Gillens Butler, who continues to be out indefinitely with the broken bone in his left hand. St. Vincent Sports Performance, listening to you, caring for you. Providence and Butler in the first round of the Big East Tournament. And Nick, Bulldogs last year came here searching for their first tournament win here in Madison Square Garden. They got that in a dramatic victory against Seton Hall last season. And that was one of those opportunities that gave them a shot to play Villanova. And on Friday here at the Big East Tournament, trying to now build off that, pick up some wins. And it starts first with the Providence Friars.
It really does. And, again, the familiarity there. And that game last year was back and forth late, wasn't it, where there were some plays made. Kamar hit some baseline shots. Carrington got some play. And so it's like you've got to kind of set the tone, weather the storm, and put yourself in a position to be able to have an opportunity to make those plays late. You know it's going to be tight for the most part. You would like to think as long as you can take care of business. And then it comes down to execution late in games more times than not in tournament play. That's certainly going to be the case today. But I tell you what, Mark, aside, the start is massive tonight for the Butler Bulldogs. They have got to come out and have more of a presence, more energy, all those things that you didn't see over the weekend. They must do here tonight against this Friar club.
2 games tonight. Providence the 8 seed, Butler the 9 seed. And then at 9:30, or at the conclusion of this one, it'll be the 7 seed St. John's and the 10 seed DePaul. Tomorrow, 4 games in the quarterfinals here in Madison Square Garden. At noon, it's Villanova against the winner of Providence and Butler. Villanova, the number 1 seed. So the Bulldogs, if they win, would have a quick turnaround to take on the Wildcats. Then at 2:30, it's the 4-seed Xavier Musketeers and the 5-seed the Creighton Blue Jays. In the evening session, the 2-seed Marquette will play the winner of St. John's and DePaul. And then rounding things out, it's Seton Hall, the 3-seed, and Georgetown, the 6-seed, at 9:30. A wacky finish to the